Show me.
It's a cruel summer, leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel summer, now you're gone. The city is crowded, my friends are away, and I'm on my own. It's too hard to handle, so I gotta get up and go. It's a cruel summer, leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel summer, now you're gone. You're not the only one. It's a cruel summer, leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel summer, now you're gone.
Ooh, baby. Let's get ready. Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Lives. The return of the three baddest motherfuckers on the planet, really. I mean, in my opinion. We got to my right, Stuntman Mark. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about you?
As always, doing well. And beneath us, for some reason beneath us, always beneath us, is the man himself, the living legend, Rambo. How you doing, man?
Good, just a legend in my own mind. I'm doing well. Can't complain. It's a nice, another hot 100-degree weather day in Texas, so normal. And
Sounds great.
drink water, people. Don't die. Just don't go out there and die. It's too hot.
That's good
out there.
advice. That's medical advice right there. Drink water, don't die. And also, I got stung by a fucking hornet the other day, and it reminded me of you, Matt. Every time, like, I was
Yeah.
just like,
How are you doing? You said you were allergic?
yeah, I'm allergic, but apparently I'm not. Like, there's two different layers of allergic. There's like the kind where it just swells and stays red for like a week, 2 weeks, but you don't like have like, anaphylaxis and shit like that. So that's the higher level of allergic to.
It got you on the leg, right?
Yeah, it's still like, I don't know.
Well, you were wearing shorts. I mean, it could have been worse. Could have got your balls,
God, I can't imagine. You imagine.
I don't want to
Lord.
imagine, no.
Stung in the
Was it
balls,
just
man.
outside your place? Or was it somewhere else?
No, it was right outside. I was just like mowing the grass and like I didn't even notice, and it came up behind me and just got me in the back of the leg, and fucking yeah. But had it been my balls, I would have probably taken advantage of that. I would have wore like really tight pants and been like, "Look at my balls, boys," and swollen up like 3 times the size of normal.
So it's
That-
all good. Everybody can take a ball sting. Just rub some dirt on it.
Just rub some dirt in that ball thing.
I couldn't tell you. I played no. Hit me in the head, hit me in the arm, not in the balls. That's okay. You
Yeah.
you take the ball, Mark. It's not so bad for you.
Carter says back in the day on Opie and Anthony, they had dudes getting stung in the balls by hornets for sport, I guess. Jesus Christ, man. People would do anything. Like, that's crazy. Like that one asshole, what's his name? Coyote Peter that runs around and lets like everything sting him and shit. Like that's his gimmick. He just lets like the most painful insects or whatever sting him. So like there's the executioner wasp and the bullet ant and things like that. Like the stuff that like you can go into a coma and he'll just let him sting him. He's got like a medical team around. It's just that's the biggest gimmick ever. Oh. Anyway, that guy's an idiot. But that's not what this show is about at all. We're gonna discuss multiple different things, but before we get into Longlegs and things like that, which I know Mark and I have seen. Rambo, I don't think you've seen it though, have you?
No,
Okay.
but you guys
Well-
can say whatever you want, spoilers, whatever. It don't matter to me.
I don't. There's not really any spoilers to that movie per se. I mean, other than the
Okay.
main, like what he's actually doing. So yeah, not worrying about that. Just talking about the performances and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's one thing you could give away, but I don't think we should.
Yeah, I guess there's one thing. You're right.
Yeah.
What I thought would be cool though to do is because I was thinking we were talking last time about newer horror films. I thought it would be funny to just look at a list of horror films from the last 4 years. So this is horror films from 2020 to 2024. I'm not going to do all of them, but just throw some fun. I'm going to throw some names out at you all, and you just rate them, like however you want to rate them, scale of 1 to 10, I guess. Like about like what you think about them. This is bound to be great because, like, yeah. So in the chat, I'm going to name these people off. You guys feel free to rate these movies like you see fit as well. We're going to go through, have a bit of a rewind and just go back to the 2020s and do a brief review of these films. So we've got in the chat Justin Smith, who says everything is gay. Mike B, Seymour Brains, a Tinchy fan. Ronnie Thrillsap's in here. Carter's in here. It's good to see everybody. 4K Tent Revival, Jackson Jack, Caleb Farrar. CK ain't going to be here. He tripped over Peach Great Value drinks and about killed himself. Phantaz Matt. I think that's a bot. I'm not going to even mention that. Scratch is in here. Chaz is in here. Vanderhoff Rules. Billy Boston. Todd Bridges. Holy shit. We got Todd Bridges in here.
Got a celebrity.
And Mozart's Ghost. All right. Let's get started. Let's start at 2020. The year is 2020. I don't know what y'all remember about 2020, but I remember quite a bit because that was really the beginning of fucking COVID and the lockdowns and all that stuff. So let's see what they had. And I'm just going to throw these out here and you guys tell me what you think, okay?
Sure.
So the first one, this is bad because this is directed by the same guy as directed Longlegs. So we're getting off to a start. It's all connected, just like the movie. Gretel and Hansel. Did anybody see Gretel and Hansel? And what are your thoughts? Oz Perkins directed it.
That was a boring fucking movie. That was slow. It felt like nothing happened in that film for like forever. And then it just ended in the most blasé. I don't remember any violence in it. I don't remember any like characters in it. I mean, what about you, Mark? I don't even know what the fuck to say about that movie.
I don't know how to rate that one. I did like
Boring
the other
shit.
one. What was it? Black Coat's Daughter. I think that's the
Oh
one.
yeah.
That was much better. Yeah. I struggle to like even come up with a reason or any logic as to why he would want to do a Hansel and Gretel anything. I think right away you're just doing something that's been done a million times over already, and there's hardly any major twist that you can do on that.
But
to
it's
make it
Gretel and
interesting.
Hansel. That's the
Yeah,
difference. Not
that's
Yeah, I
right.
Hansel
mean-
and Gretel.
They changed
Yeah.
it up.
They did. They did.
Gretel
Mark-
comes first because she's
Yeah.
a girl.
That's
Mark
right.
does.
A
Mark
different
does
era.
have the German media book, by the way. Grant Lanson. It comes in a gingerbread house, by the way, a real gingerbread house. You can eat it away, and like there's the
That's right.
4K.
Yeah.
Didn't Stream Factory release that recently? Or someone did.
Yeah,
Gretel and
they
Hansel.
did actually.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
That's
they
what I was
released-
wondering.
It was either the Blu-ray or the 4K. It might have been the 4K. I don't know. It was in their big like mess of shit that they released all together.
I'm sure it
Mhm.
made a lot of money for them.
All right, let's move on.
Have
to
you
the
seen
next
it?
one then. I've never seen it, and I
You
never
do?
have any desire to
Okay.
see it. I have seen this next one though, and I actually really like this film more than I probably should, given that most people hate this film. 2020 was the year that Possessor came out from Brandon Cronenberg. What are your thoughts about that one?
I
Like-
liked it. I mean, it's Cronenberg's son did it. I thought it was creative. I liked
Mhm.
the story was intriguing enough and unique enough that it was at least worth one watch. I haven't seen it since, but yeah, I remember liking the film. I thought it was at least like a 3.5 out of 5 stars at least. Maybe if I saw it again, be a bit higher. But again, I thought it was a good. Was that his first film?
No.
No.
What was his first film, Mark? You know this.
Antiviral.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
I think this
I
was
don't
the first
remember
film
anything
that
else.
got him any kind of attention, though. Like that really got him like
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah, there was a lot more intrigue and I wouldn't say hype, but people were talking about that way more than Antiviral. And I think it's probably the best one. Infinity Pool was fine. I like that. I've only seen Infinity Pool once, but I've seen Possessor quite a few times, so that tells you a lot right there. It's I like how it's the type of film where it's science fiction, but like they don't feel the need to over explain everything. You get the gist of the technology, what it does, and that's all you really need to know, and it services the story quite well. And I like Jennifer Jason Leigh at pretty much anything. So
Yeah,
he
that's
had me
true.
from that. As soon as I
Yeah.
saw she was in it, I'm like, okay, I'm on board.
Possessor was one of those movies where like it goes from 0 to 100 like several different scenes. The assassinations and things in the movie. It's a
Yeah.
great film because it's got some great performances in it. Pretty much everybody in the film is good. It's got some great gore and some practical effects in it that you don't really like see a lot of. And it's funny whenever anybody named Cronenberg does a fucking movie with practical effects in it, it's always the craziest shit you've ever seen.
Mhm.
Like the sequence with the dad
Yeah.
towards the end of it, where they just went crazy with that. Like I was kind of amazed how far they went with that. That was actually on that disc. I really like that movie though. It's really one of those movies that like is so different, so completely different than anything else
Mhm.
that it stays with you for a while too.
I agree.
If I had to, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. We're doing like a 5-star kind of thing. That's what I would give it.
Yeah, Gretel and Hansel would be like, I'll be nice and say 2 out of 5. But
I would say
but-
1.
Jeez.
1 out.
I figured that, Rambo. No, Possessor, I would say a good 4 out of 5 for me, easily.
Same. Okay, so let me ask you this. I don't know if either one of you guys saw these movies, but I unfortunately saw a couple of these. The Babysitter Killer Queen. Anybody see that?
No, I didn't.
Is
see
that the Samara Weaving movie?
That was the Samara Weaving movie. I don't think she's in the second one. This is the second one.
She's in the second
sequel.
one.
Is she in the second
Um,
one?
Yeah, it's her and Jenna Ortega. I remember.
Oh, okay.
It's I mean, I like the first one a lot. The second one was okay. It's a okay time waster. I don't hate either one of those, and it's which is surprising because it's McGee. So I didn't think
It
I'd
is.
really.
Gee, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd
It
really
didn't
be
need a
into it.
sequel. It didn't really
That's
need a
true.
sequel.
Yeah, I mean, and even when you look at that second movie, it feels like they're sort of grasping at whatever idea could sort of fit the narrative
Don't
for
they
a sequel.
bring back the people that died in the
Yeah,
first one?
they're all
Yeah.
resurrected. Yeah.
I don't
So
know
I,
why, but I watched that like one time and I just remember absolutely hating it. Like I
Mhm.
just and I really liked the first one. Like I thought the first one was
Yeah.
great, but they just tried to do too much shit in the second one, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I like the first one. Second one, I think I did see it. I forgot about it. I forgot that was the title. I'm like, I kept
Mhm.
thinking I was sitting more on the Killer Queen stuff, but yeah. Not every movie needs a sequel. I mean, but that's par for the course. That's not the first or last time this happened.
I'm gonna tell you something
Yeah.
too. Samara Weaving is amazing. To me anyway.
Yeah.
Like she okay, she had a run of movies there that were outstanding. I don't know what the hell happened to her, but like so here's the movies that she was in,
She was
like
in Scream
pretty
6.
oh shit, Mark, shut up with that fucking movie. I was trying to avoid it. I was like, yeah, she's also in Screen 6 in my mind, but like she did okay. So she did The Babysitter, she did Ready or Not, she did Mayhem, and there's one more too that she did that was really good. Like all like pretty close together. And then she kind of just fell off the face of the earth. But like I love all those movies though. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
all of them.
I agree. Babysitter I liked, Ready or Not, I did not mind. I
Mhm.
loved Mayhem.
Yeah.
The same guy who directed Wrong Turn 2. And
Yep.
it's one of his
Joe
best
Lynch.
movies,
Joe Lynch.
Mayhem.
Yep.
Yeah. She was in another one with the guy, Daniel Radcliffe, that was interesting called Guns
Guns
Akimbo.
Akimbo. Yeah.
Guns Akimbo, yeah.
That's the one where the guy, for those who don't know, he wakes up and he's got guns bolted to his hands, and it's like this over the top action movie. Oh, she was in Bill and Ted 3.
Yeah. She was.
Oh, was she? I never made it
Wasn't
through
she?
that movie. Like I got through the first like 10 minutes and I was like, this is just depressing. I'm turning this off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
weren't
isn't
missing anything.
she Alice Winter's daughter? I think. Bill
Yeah.
as Preston's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't need to see more than 10 minutes of film sucked.
I
You
just
didn't miss
couldn't.
anything.
When they really started talking and stuff, and I was noticing Keanu Reeves and all of his mannerisms, I was like, he's just I can't do this for a whole movie. It just
And
wasn't
like
the
Mark said,
same.
she was in Scream 6, and then she was in that G.I. Joe movie Snake Eyes 2021
Mhm.
that
Good Lord.
people didn't watch.
Put that on your resume, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was Channing Tatum in that one too?
No, he died.
Gotcha.
I remember she
Not
was
in real life,
also
I mean.
she was also briefly in Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah, somebody brought
think-
that up on here too. Yeah.
Oh, did they? Okay.
I don't remember that at all. I must have stopped like watching it when she came into it or something. Okay, so here's another one I'm not sure if you guys saw or not. It's one of my favorites. I've never really talked about it on here, but it's one of my favorite movies from this time period. The Hunt with Betty Gilpin. This is the
I
one.
like that one.
Yeah, this is the one where they
It's
all
like
get
surviving
dropped
the
off.
game.
Yeah, it's exactly like surviving the game, except like she's the Ice-T character, Ice Cube, or whoever the fuck was in that.
Yeah. Ice-T.
Yeah. So she's amazing in that movie. That's the main reason why I liked it, because her character is just outstanding. But it's a
Hilary
very
Swank.
Hilary
Was Hilary
Swank.
Swank in it?
Yeah,
Emma
she's the
Roberts
lead.
too.
She's the lead villain at the very end of it. They have a great fight
Yeah.
sequence at the end of the movie too that like goes on for like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And basically the plot of the movie is political. It's like I think they're liberals are the ones that bring all of these like Republicans to this place, and then like they start picking them off one by one. and I don't know, just the way that they make fun of like both ideologies and everything in the movie is great. And the end fight sequence is one of the best ones. I just love that movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the table 54 guy, the reason it got pulled was because what UB said, it was political and people got very, very butthurt. So butthurt that they just wanted to mess with the release. And
Uh-huh.
what did you feel about the politics of it? Did you feel, I mean, it's part of the plot. There's a
It
reason
is.
for it. But that did hurt it in the bot. But do you feel you're glad it was still in there? For
Yeah,
the product,
because
even though it hurt it?
it most of the time in Hollywood when they do a movie like that, it's making fun of primarily like Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some sort of woke agenda. This was the opposite, and this is why it pissed so many people off. It was making fun primarily of liberals, and like
Yeah.
you know the fact that they had all these beliefs that they were trying to shove down all these people's throats before they killed them. They wanted them to admit that they were wrong and all this shit.
Yeah.
And like it, I think that's why that movie got tabled and kind of shit on, because like it didn't have the right political message. But anything that makes fun of politics in any way, I'm for, because it's just ridiculous. Like politics are fucking ridiculous anyway. So
This is true.
yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy that one. That was a good one. So
Yeah. Doesn't really get
I don't know
talked
the rating
about.
I would give it. No.
No, it never gets talked about, which is interesting considering what it's about, really.
Mhm.
Then we've got the Invisible Man remake, the Lee Winnell Invisible Man that everybody creams their jeans over all the time.
Right.
Completely different take on that movie. In that one, the guy is like a stalker, basically. The Invisible Man has essentially got like a restraining order. And he's like, there's some good scenes in that movie. I didn't mind it either, like Matt was saying. But
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much sleeping with the invisible enemy. Like they just sleeping with the enemy in those movies.
Right.
Like
The
Yeah.
dice.
Yep.
I mean, sleeping with the invisible enemy is pretty much what it is.
yeah. There's the scene that which is a really good scene. And I remember watching it for the first time. I thought that it was really well done too, where she's eating dinner and all that. And then like I think it's her sister's with her. And the sister's like, yeah, you're going to get through this or whatever. Like everything's, and then all of a sudden, like a knife just comes out of nowhere and like slits her
Yeah.
throat.
Mm-hmm.
And and then like puts it, I think it puts it in her hand or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
That's right.
yeah. And it
That
happens within
was-
like a split second.
That was
Yeah.
very surprising. I saw that one in the theater and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Man, Lee Winnell's come a long way. I mean, he's got his own career now. I know he was like always writing for James Wan for a while. I know those guys were big buddies. I remember listening to them talk on the Mick Garris podcast, like how they got their start in Hollywood and they came to America with no money, and now both of those guys are really, really successful. So it's interesting to see where he's at. You know what Lee Winnell's doing next, right?
No.
Jason Blum hired him, and so since he
God,
did so
no.
good with the Invisible Man, he's doing the Wolf Man.
Man, like, okay. That's just one movie that just needs to go away.
They
Like
keep
there's
trying to make
never
it
gonna
work.
they keep trying, there's never gonna be a successful Wolfman nowadays. It's just not gonna happen, man. Oh God.
But I did like the Invisible Man. I know I can understand why people don't like it. I guess because like my favorite Invisible Man movie is probably Hollow Man. I love how B movie trashy it is.
Same here.
Kevin Bacon. But I mean, for me, there's only so much you can do with a Hollow Man, an Invisible Man movie. I didn't mind the different take on it. I thought the lead girl, she did a good job acting wise. And I thought it was pretty well directed. Again, is that a film I rewatch? I watched it one time. I liked what, but it's not like I own it. So I wouldn't call it a classic or anything, but
Mhm.
I liked what I saw for the guy. I hate everything. I mentioned a bunch of movies I already liked. So The Hunt, Mayhem, Invisible Man, and the I forget what the other one was. Not Gretel
Yeah,
Hansel. Fuck that.
Possessor. You like Possessor too, so
Yeah. So I hate
Yeah.
everything.
Rambo fucking hates everything though. Just know that about
do.
him. He
It's kind
just
of
sits around.
funny. Like there's a
Like-
resurgence for all those movies right now. You got the Nosferatu movie coming at the end of the year. Wolfman from Lee Winnell. Obviously, we already got Invisible Man, and then you've got Frankenstein with Mia Goth as the bride. So that's Guillermo del Toro's next movie.
Listen to
So-
me. I don't like
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, but I would watch Mia
Really?
Goth. I would watch Mia Goth eat a fucking ham sandwich. I don't give a shit. Like, so I'm there for that.
Just not into
No,
his
I don't.
stuff.
I never
got you.
liked that guy, man. There's something about his style that I just don't jive with, like Pan's Labyrinth and
Mhm.
fucking,
I can see that. Yeah.
a lot of those fantasy
not a
style
big-
movies.
I'm not a big Pan's Labyrinth guy either. I mean, really, I like Blade 2 a lot. That's more of a. That felt like a different Guillermo del Toro that he never did again. Like Mimic and Blade 2 is like his offshoot films, and those are the ones I like the most of his stuff. Like his. I guess because there's like he had to work with a studio with that.
Yeah.
But those are actually the ones I like more than when he had more freedom and control. I mean, I'm sorry, folks, but I mean, I didn't mind Hellboy, which I didn't even know they were making a new one. Like, I looked on YouTube, I'm like, there's a new fucking Hellboy, the Crooked Man, or what the hell? I'm like,
Oh, it looks so bad. I thought that was like a fan film when I saw the trailer.
Sorry.
Frankenstein Man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about his style, but I just hate it. Just always am.
I can see it, yeah.
Mia Goth already looks like the bride of Frankenstein. That's kind of true. She definitely has a distinctive look. Is this true? Please, somebody tell me this is not true. Seems like I've heard this before.
Mm-hmm. That is
So
happening.
is she directing it?
She's directing it, yeah.
Okay, good. She better not get in front of the camera though. They'll block out the fucking sun with that head of
I
hers.
knew that was coming.
Fucking.
But would you buy her as the bride of Frankenstein since you think she's so ugly?
Yeah, it'd be hard to find like a wig that would fit over her head. That big hair thing. You'd have to have that made from 1,000 Ukrainian girls or something because like shit.
Potato head.
Yeah, I can't stand Maggie Gyllenhaal for anybody that doesn't know. Add her.
For some reason, when I hear UB say that, I always think of Michael Parks and from Dusk Till Dawn. He's taught at the beginning like that potato head. He's talking about
Yeah.
I remember that.
either Jay Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, or Tom Cruise. I always think of Michael Parks and from Dusk Till Dawn.
I might hate Jake Gyllenhaal more than Maggie Gyllenhaal actually, because Maggie seems to have a bit of like humility and at least something going for her, like some charisma. Jake Gyllenhaal, on the other hand, just seems like a total fucking douche with his big fucking head walking around. Like his damn head's too big for it. Well, they both are. Like something had the gene for like a giant cranium is strong in both of them. It's a shame their brains didn't fit in that equation. Let's see what else is in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, I still forget this movie exists. The Grudge reboot thing.
Oh,
I skipped it, didn't watch it.
I've never seen it either, but it's one of those like RoboCop, the remake that I just always forget it even exists. But it's out there.
Sally, I have seen it, and it really is just reiterating what they did in the first Grudge, but they threw in John Cho, who I liked as an actor, but he had nothing to do. I think they threw in what's her name, Bob Shaye's sister,
Lynn
or whatever.
Oh,
the one-
Lynn Shay, yeah.
Yeah, I think she was in it as a crazy lady, or she becomes a crazy lady. They do the same bit, I think, in the shower, and like the hands coming out of the head. Only it's not Sarah Michelle Gellar as John Cho.
Why would that be necessary to recreate fucking scenes from that movie with just different actors?
And call it The Grudge, not The Grudge, blah blah blah. Just the same title. It's just nostalgia. They thought they were like Stream. Like, well, when did Stream hadn't come out yet? Stream 5, but Halloween 2018. They want that money. They thought that's called
Mhm.
Halloween. That made money. So call it The Grudge, and nostalgia will make money. Only it didn't, because no one
No.
gave a shit about The Grudge.
Jake says it had Betty Gilpin in it, Bill Sadler. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know the cast was actually that good. Does Lynn Shay pee on herself in that, or is that just like something Jack made up? Could be.
I'll take his word for it because I don't remember the movie that well.
All right. What about Brahms, The Boy 2? Did anybody see that?
No, I never watched it. I've seen the first one, but I never watched the second one.
I think I watched it. I think CK made me watch it.
You
be
liked
honest.
it, didn't you? I know you did. Katie Holmes.
I loved it. I thought it was in my top 10. You imagine putting out a fucking sequel to The Boy, let alone calling
No.
it that.
I vaguely remember, didn't they like change the complete premise? Where like the first one was kind of like what's that movie from the 70s, made for TV movie,
Magic.
where the kid lives in the house within the walls.
Oh, Bad Ronald.
Bad Ronald.
Oh, Bad Ronald, yeah.
Bad Ronald.
The Warner Archive one
Like
I need
the
to get.
Yeah, the first Boy was kind of like a rip off of that, and then the second one, like they try to be more like supernatural ghosts or something for some reason. I could absolutely be wrong on that, so don't quote me on it. But
I just love the idea that movie exists. It makes me happy that exists for some reason. I love the fact that Scream Factory is like promoting the fuck out of those movies too. Like it's something killer to have. I don't think anybody remembers the Children of the Corn 50th reboot.
didn't see it.
That's just in my mind. Like every 5 to 10 years, they're gonna do another Children of the Corn. I could believe it. I
It's
didn't.
like
I didn't
Chucky.
watch it.
They're going to reboot Chucky about every 5 years too. I guarantee it. And then I guess the last one from 2020 that is kind of significant, even though it's not that significant, is A Quiet Place 2. Thoughts on that movie? I don't think I've seen
I
it.
didn't see it. I saw the first one.
I think the first one worked better, but it's been a while. Can't remember much, honestly. That's not one that I own or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, it's something about those movies. I just never got into them.
Yeah.
So of that list of movies, I'm going to say for me, The Hunt is probably my favorite out of that list of movies. I just really love that movie, and I just think it's entirely underrated. But Possessor is, I've got the second side of Possessor in there, and it's amazing. That whole set's amazing. So yeah. 2020 was not a great year for horror films, though. I'll tell you that right now. By looking at that.
I'll admit, I liked. There was another one that year, but I liked this actor. I liked Freaky, but I like Vince Vaughn. If you don't like Vince Vaughn, you're probably not going to like that
Was Freaky in
film.
2020?
I thought it was.
It definitely could have been.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Vince Vaughn is he's actually a fairly decent actor. I liked him in Brawl and Cell Block 99, and I liked him in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Like he can play multiple different parts, and he's actually not that bad. Now, I mean, of course, he did Psycho as well, but I don't think that was his fault as much as it was. Did Gus Van Sant direct that fucking movie? I think he did.
What
I think
about
that was
the
more-
Yeah, you
the
did.
Cell with Jennifer Lopez? He was in that.
That movie? You know, that is honestly a movie I need to go back and watch again because
I like the
feel-
visuals. I'll
Yeah.
give it the visuals. I thought a lot of that was pretty cool.
I feel like I would like that movie more now than I did when I first watched it because I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" at that point. But now I feel like I might have more appreciation for it.
I really enjoyed The Cell. Yeah, that one I like. It's just very creative, like a much better version of this film I mentioned before, Dreamscape. Like that director, I agree, Mark. The visuals are a good selling point for that.
Mm-hmm.
And Vincent D'Onofrio is just very creepy, just his old demeanor in that.
Yeah.
Look up one of you guys. Look up when The Lighthouse came out. Out of curiosity,
Was that 2019?
I want to think it was 2019, but I don't know.
I think it was 2019.
I would do it. My internet. Oh, there you go. Thank you, internet. Fuck you. 2019,
Okay.
Yeah.
October 2019.
Somebody brought up Saint Maud, which we also just reviewed. And I don't even know. I mean, yes, I guess that is a horror movie, but that's a
Mhm.
hard movie to describe. Like what exactly in the hell that movie is.
Right.
It's like a psychological character study thriller with at the very end, there's a little bit of horror like to it. I told you what it reminded me of was May.
Mhm.
Like it's very similar in terms of like the characterization to May. But
Okay.
there's a lot more religious kind of aspects to that movie. I liked it. It's just it's one of those A24 movies I know I'll never go back and watch. Like if I want to be depressed and sit in an open grave and want to like just lie down, I'll watch an A24 movie because that's mostly what you know. Just go out there and I don't know. So 2021 actually got better in terms of not only the quality but the quantity of films that they released. So the first one I will bring to your all's attention because this one is a banger. Just going alphabetical order here. Army of the Dead.
That should have been
That
fun, but I don't know what the hell happened.
That movie, you're right. That movie might have the most wasted potential of almost any movie in the history of fucking horror films.
Very cool idea. Executed very poorly. Yeah, I don't know. I
remember watching it, Mark. I remember watching it. A couple things like immediately caught my attention. Number one, Batista is usually really good in anything, and he fucking sucks in that movie. But number two was all of the scenes that Tig Notaro was like edited into were clearly they spent millions of dollars and you could clearly tell that they had just like CG'd her into those fucking scenes. And anytime I see stuff like that, it completely takes me out of a movie, which is what happened in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the dumbass plot. Like,
no, I agree. I think a big problem with that film is that Snyder actually helped write it, and he is not a good writer.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about Dawn of the Dead, the remake? What helped was he didn't write that film. James Gunn wrote it. And how you feel about the guy? He does at least have more talent writing compared to Zack Snyder. And yeah, it should have been a home run. It's a big budget movie, R-rated, where zombies and it's Vegas and it's a heist. So you could say it's like Dawn of the Dead meets Heat or Thief or a number of other movies you can mention. And whether it be the horrible daughter character who is a twat waffle that kept fucking up everybody and everything and got everybody killed because she was a dunce and a moron and an idiot. And yet she's the one who lives. So how the hell that's satisfying, I don't know. Like the character I wanted to die the most is like one of the only ones that live. And the marketing, most of those action scenes, or some, was a damn, not a dream scene, but like a, like them imagining what they're going to do. So like all the cool shots is like all in their head. So like a chunk of that movie when they're, Zack Snyder, the biggest fuck up that happened is that stupid ass Justice League movie. Get the cut. Cut his balls off and put in his mouth. Make you shut up. Because I know that's vulgar. I know that's being, I don't give a fuck. Because people cried and whined about that cut. It got out. It sucked ass. It was 5 hours long. And then everyone decided to piggyback on that notoriety. And then he did multiple films, and I forget what those new ones were called. And it was sad. I saw them, and then like they're each 3 hours long and or so, and he did two of them.
Oh,
and
Rebel
then there's going to be
Moon.
special. Yeah, his wannabe Star Wars, because apparently he was hired for Star Wars, and it was so bad even Disney didn't want them, so he took it and made his own movies. When even Disney is like, we don't want it, you know it's bad. And he made those movies and they were bad. So Zack Snyder, I've liked a couple of his movies, but I wish he would stop in a sincere manner, not trying to be funny, because people talk about his visuals. That's his cinematographer. And even lately, when it's only him doing the cinematography, they haven't looked that good.
Yeah,
and he cannot write.
that's a glaring problem all throughout Army of the Dead is the visuals. It's there's a lot of shots that were out of focus, and when I saw that his name was on there as cinematographer, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what he's got. And I was disappointed throughout the entire fucking movie. I was like, man, he really should not be shooting his own stuff.
It looks like shit. It looks very like heavily AI CG fucking shit. That whole movie.
Yeah.
I hate everything about that movie. There's nothing I can think of that I even like about that movie. Like the performances are awful. The zombies are crap. They look awful. There's really no good like gore or anything like that in it. It's kind of a cursed movie to me in a way, because they had to re-edit so much of it and it just looks like shit.
Yeah.
So Killer Pizza says he's got a question real quick. I've got a convention coming up next Saturday. Who's the worst celebrity you've ever met? Okay, who's at the show? Just put a list of who's at the show in this chat, and I will rank them. We will all rank them for you if we've met them. Let's see. A bunch of people taking a shit on James Gunn. Okay.
He's a hack. That's what my buddy calls him. He doesn't like James Gunn either. He calls him Gun for Hire. Because
there's two different James Gunns, in my opinion. There's Trauma James Gunn, and then there's like Hollywood James Gunn. Like those two guys are completely different to me. James Gunn is better than Zack Snyder. That may be true. Okay. Let's see. So we go from Army of the Dead 2021. Let's see. Oh, fuck. This will be a good one to talk about. I'd forgotten about this movie completely. Thankfully to God. Candyman.
Fuck. That fucking movie.
Or
what the fuck was
that? That's an interesting movie to watch.
That movie literally tells you by the end, well, near the end, that Candyman is going to seek out and kill all the white people.
Yes.
For some reason.
That's his goal.
Yeah.
Cops especially.
Mm-hmm. That's the Jordan Peele inspiration.
Mhm.
He was the producer, so it makes sense.
Wasn't there a thing in the opening, like it was shadows you saw, and it was like cops beating on people and like shadow puppet play?
Yes. Yeah. It was, yeah,
And I'm
that was
like,
exactly what it was. You talk about like being too heavy handed with a fucking message and like being too on the nose. Like there was no subtlety in that movie whatsoever. It was just like, it's exactly what Wes says, Candyman versus white people. Like that should have been the name of the movie because that's what that movie was about. And I remember watching it and I was just like, wow. Like, and I didn't even give a fuck about the political or social messages in it. It's just a bad, boring ass fucking movie. It just follows that one guy around. And he sits in his apartment the majority of the time and just slowly
Mhm.
goes insane. And nothing happens in that damn movie is my biggest problem with it. And there's nobody in it that's interesting like Tony Todd was in the original. There's nobody charismatic in it that you fucking care about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
didn't they try to have a
so
CG Tony Todd at the end for some reason?
They did,
they
yeah.
did. Yeah. Yep.
He was on set for like an hour. They just scanned his face in. It was so
What they didn't
fucking
understand,
terrible.
what they didn't understand is like the original Candyman, which I do like. You can look into social context of the poor. You can, if you want to, but the gist of the Candyman was kind of like a, if not a Dracula, but that kind of monster, tragic monster with a backstory. And the way Tony Todd was playing it was trying to be in the air of a Bela Lugosi kind of actual performance to create that type of character. This didn't do any of that. It like
Mhm.
completely forgot that was even a thing. I agree, it's very boring. I just still remember scenes in the original, the scene where the kids like they're telling the story about that kid who's in the bathroom and he's like screaming and you see the blood in the toilet.
Oh yeah.
That was still freaky when I saw it. I probably saw it when I was a kid. I just still popped that image in my head and was like, ooh, that's still pretty freaky with the way it was done and the way it was filmed. This is, I think the director went on to do that superhero movie, The Marvels. That's how good she
Mhm.
was. A Captain Marvel sequel that no one watched because you get people who don't have talent to do those.
Mhm.
And she didn't have talent to do any of this. So
Somebody mentioned too, and this is true, like in the original Candyman, there was a lot of like social commentary. It was just much better and like better written, better
yeah,
performed, kind
Mhm.
of, understated, but it was still there. And in this one, it's just like that's really the whole that's the problem I have with it. I think more than anything, the whole point of the movie is just to put that shit in there. Like the point of the movie is not to have a good story. The point of the movie is not to have anything like memorable. The point of the whole fucking movie is to have that commentary in there and just
Mhm.
beat you over the head with it literally like sometimes like
It just
I
completely
and
destroyed the mythos of the legend of Candyman. It made it so that
yeah,
anybody can be Candyman due to tragedy, and that's really, really lame. Like,
yeah.
there's nothing special about that. But Rambo, you hit the nail on the head with that chick. She's not. I don't like anything she's done. I mean, I know she's doing the 28 Years Later sequel, not the first one, but I think she's doing like the second one because they're doing like a whole trilogy of those. And I'm like, why does she keep getting involved with horror movies? Just go make shitty Marvel stuff and go away. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. They keep
So
putting her in movies or
Carter
making her
says
direct stuff.
it had the subtlety of Bill Goldberg's jackass. MTH Bruh says the director felt upwards and made the Marvels. I agree with this too. Just wait until the People Under the Stairs remake next year.
Mm.
Just you fucking wait. And that's a great movie in my opinion, in terms of like what they were trying to do with that movie and the commentary in that movie. But I
yeah,
guarantee you it will be exactly like that Candyman movie. They'll beat the shit out of you with it, like from the beginning to the end.
Mhm.
Do they have a director of that People Under the Stairs one?
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Not that I've seen. I think they're just trying to get the green light for it so far.
Wasn't Jordan Peele involved?
I think he's producing it.
Shit.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Justin says the original was one of his favorite horror movies, so the remake really pissed him off. Yeah, I would say. 28,000 years later. That's gonna be okay. So we all kind of stand on that one anyway. Let's see what else came out that year. That's of note. There's a bunch of stuff that came out, by the way. I'm not going through every one of these movies because a lot of them are like direct to streaming and stuff movies as well.
Right.
Did either you all watch any of the Fear Street movies? Because that's in here, the Netflix.
I think so. I don't think I watched all of them. I think I watched. There's one of them that's like set in the past or something, like in like the 60s.
1666.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see that one. I think I saw the one set in the 90s and
That was the
the
first
one
one.
after. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw the first one and the second one, I guess.
1994, I want to say.
94, 96, something like that, yeah.
I
I don't remember a thing about it.
I think my favorite was probably the 78 one because it was like a Friday the 13th episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was like where they go to camp and everything. I like that whole series, except I didn't like the last one that much. But I did like the series. I thought it was crazy that they'd put something like that out teen-centered with that much gore and shit in it on anything like Netflix. And I don't think they'll probably do that anymore, considering the climate, the way things are now. But yeah, I put it over because I mean, if I like something, I'll just fucking tell you I like it. Carter, you some bitch. I like fucking absurd and anthropophagus too, but like, you know.
I didn't mind the first two. I think it's
I see the comment up here. I was wondering what you were saying. I see it now.
Yeah.
rather watch Salo again.
I won't go that far. I didn't.
Yeah.
I remember not liking the first Fear Street, but at the same time, I don't remember the film at all, so I don't remember what I didn't like about it.
I can't
I didn't see
remember
the
which
seventh
one
one.
is which though. That's the thing. Like they're kind of blurred together in my mind. I've only watched those two once. One of them, the lead chick was really annoying. I remember that. And whichever one
that could be any of them, really.
Whichever one that one was, I didn't care for.
Which brings us though to one of the most polarizing films of that year. I don't know why it's polarizing because it's a giant fucking turd. Halloween Kills.
The best movie of 2021.
The best one right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I knew that David Gordon Green was a fucking hack. Up to this point, I was all like behind that and that series. And
let me ask you, how do you feel about people who go, well, you go see a slasher film for kills. It has a lot of kills. So how the hell could you not like it? God damn it.
That's
it's about blood and gore and kills. God damn it, you're supposed to like it. You're a dead bitch, for fuck's sake. Whatever the hell they say.
They say a lot of stuff exactly like that. I mean, if you look at it, Army of the Dead had a lot of fucking kills in it, but like piece of shit too. Nothing about that movie made any sense. Like zero plot. Would not. It made more sense than Halloween Ends, though. I'll give it that. But like,
yeah, I'll give it that too.
This idea that like this whole town gets together to fight evil and all this, and like they're able to kind of like just by Anthony Michael Hall fucking standing up and shouting "Evil dies tonight," they get like a mob together, and Isn't that the one too where there's a sequence? There's so many sequences in the movie where like they try this humor, like dark humor kind of stuff, and it fucking completely where like this woman's flying around like a drone or something, and it hits Michael Myers, and he comes in there and kills her and fucking her husband.
I think so.
I think that's that movie, man. And it's like that went on for like 20 or 30, and that's also the one where it had the gay couple, and it was like,
Oh yeah.
Tried to cancel Michael Myers
yeah.
online. I remember that.
Now that I sit here and think about it, just more and more horrible memories start to flood back about having to watch that movie. And
you want to
Michael
talk about
Hall cannot act either in that.
It was just a bad idea. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mark. What was the bad idea?
His character, like that whole thing, like no, who wants to see that? Like, okay, so you have Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital the entire time, which is probably one of the biggest things that I dislike about the original Halloween 2. And then you repeat that again. So I'm like, okay, there's strike one.
She's gone almost the entire movie. Yeah, she's
exactly. And then you have Anthony Michael Hall running around trying to rally the troops. And it came off as like so over the top and ridiculous. And I just didn't get the point of why they turned that character into trying to be like some crusader to kill Michael. That didn't work for me. I mean, there's so many useless characters, like that fucking guy with the cowboy hat who does nothing, but he's in like every other scene. He's like the detective. Man,
he shows up. Didn't he show up in the other one too? He shows up in Halloween Ends too, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does, and he does nothing again.
Yeah, exactly.
He does absolutely nothing.
Gives you more respect for the Duke, and Jason goes, "Oh, I'll say that." He put a hot dog through a donut, you know.
And Carter brings up another thing that I forgot too, which is Charles Cyphers is in the movie, and it almost is like that. Right before a scene, they like used a fucking cattle prod on Charles Cyphers and just like had him read a line. You know what I mean? Like he just seems completely like Joe Biden-esque in that movie. Like he's just like reciting a line, like, and they edit around it like one time, and it's just sad to watch that shit.
Or even I forget the actor's name, Will something, the police officer who's very close to Jamie Lee Curtis. He got killed and run over by a car in 2018. Yep. And then he just wheeled in and he's perfectly fine. He just has like a cast on his arm or something. He got run over by a car, Will Patton, on his chest. Like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And he was there for, I don't know, 30 minutes, like however long for someone to find him. He just goes, he's got a little bandage on his head and like the cast on his arm or something, and is like,
and what? I think exactly. The part that got me the most when I really hated this movie more though was when Jamie Lee Curtis came out and she was like, yeah, like this is a movie about, you know, mob mentality and like what's going on in the United States now, and like how, you know, all this stuff is political and yada yada, and like there's supposed to be this big message with this movie and stuff, and I was just like, no, you just made a giant piece of shit movie. Like you can't come out and say that it has all these wonderful things about it now. And she's kind of gotten full of shit in her age too.
Yeah.
I just hated that movie. I know a lot of people that like that movie, unfortunately. And
I mean, for people that want to see a lot of bloody kills and all that, it lives up to that part of the title. But I mean,
you can see the other Halloween films and Friday 13th films, and you see kills on them.
Yeah,
Halloween 4, you see thumbs to the foreheads, and like you see kills in other movies. That's
people like new kills though, Rambo. They don't like old movies. People like new movies. The thing.
But
Like
like for the diehard
the girl
Michael
that
fans, I kind of get it. I can kind of see why some people would really, really put it over because it's the character at its most unhinged. I get it, but for me,
the girl
that's
that shot herself in the head.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
sorry, go ahead.
There's, I mean, and this question, by the way, I think Wes put up a fucking thing about Carpenter talking about like how that David Gordon Green was trying to do something different with Halloween Ends, and then he shit all over like Rob Zombie's Halloween film. So this question has been on our Instagram for the past 6 months since he posted that fucking meme, and people still comment on it. The question is the Green trilogy better than the Rob Zombie films?
Carpenter sure thinks so. He said Halloween Kills was his favorite. So,
He got paid.
well, he said he
put
hated Ends though.
I'll
He
put
was
it to you
not a
this
fan of
way.
Ends.
This is my take on that. I think that Halloween 2018 is better than any of those Rob Zombie Halloweens. I also simultaneously think that Halloween Ends is worse than any film of any of those films. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I would rather watch
yeah.
Rob Zombie's Halloween again multiple times than sit down and watch Halloween Ends again.
I don't know. Rob Zombie's Halloween too. I wanted to walk out of the theater when I saw that. I was just, I should have known though, but yeah, I don't know if I could say it's between that and Ends. I mean, those are definitely the worst of the franchise. That's tough to say for me. I don't know.
As much as I don't like Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, I probably would watch them over Rob Zombies. Halloween Ends, that's a different story. Because I guess that's probably pop up unless we talk about it now. If that's
Yeah, it's coming.
Michael Myers ready to hump that guy in the sewer. I'm like, what the fuck? And does the dead zone thing in his head, and then he's doing the
Halloween
Mardi
Ends-
Gras, whatever the hell, riding the wave of his dead body, like it's Woodstock 2000 or something.
If we're going to talk about Halloween Ends, I'll just tell you right now, that's in contention. It's that one and like Nightmare on Elm Street remake for me compete for like the worst modern kind of like either sequel or remake or anything like that to a franchise film is those two in my head. Like, I don't think I could hate a movie more than Halloween Ends. I really don't. Like, I thought it was completely fucking incompetent in every way that a movie could be incompetent, and just stupid. Just the writing being stupid, the
I was
performance.
gonna say in terms of story or the way it was made.
Both. Like, it was incompetently made, and it was like the way it was written was just ridiculous. And the ideas behind it that like this kid takes over and like Michael Myers is just following him around. It's like, God damn, shut the fuck up. Like, no. Like,
he transferred the evil to Corey.
Yeah. Yep. The idea that his name's Corey just makes me want to punch myself in the face too. It's just like, that's your slasher. Did they really think that would work? Like, Corey would catch on? Like, I don't understand that, man. Like, there's nothing about that that's appealing whatsoever. And his character wasn't appealing at all either.
He kept whining about where he's at and all these other. I'm like, fucking move. Oh my God, Michael Myers may come back. Fucking move. Like, why don't you just move?
That is a good point.
One quickly, like, so Laurie Strode was so PTSD upset that her friends died. But if her daughter dies, she's baking cookies the next year. Happy as can be. Explain that to me for people who love the film.
Well, that was the part that a lot of people like started getting like, started noticing more and more that didn't make sense was like her complete shift from being absolutely terrified and living out in a farmhouse, like, and all this shit, to
Shotguns.
baking, shotguns with bandoliers, to baking fucking cookies and acting like nothing had ever happened. And most people in that movie acted like nothing had ever happened. Like that, none of that stuff in the previous movies had happened, really.
Right.
And it was so jarringly fucking bizarre that how different that movie was than any, like,
How upset that town was in fear that, like, how many people died in the first film? 3?
oh yeah, was it 3 or 4? I can't remember. It wasn't many.
Half the fucking town died the previous year and they're fine. So they're
Mhm.
so crazed that 3 people died 20, 30 years ago, but half the fucking town was murdered and they're fine. Like,
Yeah, they got
should it
over
be
that
like that?
quick. Like, listen, they got stuff to do. They got to bake cakes and shit. Like, they can't be worried about
That's
like
true.
half the town getting taken out.
Right.
I think that Corey Cunningham is my least favorite character in any fucking movie ever. I think that might be just the worst thing ever. But the
I'm still
funny thing
pissed.
about that is there's people that'll be
Yeah,
like, that's the best thing ever. Just like, is it though? Is that the
He's
what are their reasons? What are their reasons for saying
they
that?
say the same fucking thing. They're just like, well, it's something different. Like, it was something unique.
oh
And they never tried anything like that before, and like
Mhm.
blah 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 blah. And I'm
Well,
just
they
like,
kind of
yeah.
did with the end of Halloween 4, so it's not that new. Transferring the evil to another person, and
Mhm.
Christine did the same fucking movie. So I mean, they literally said they ripped off
Yeah, well,
Christine.
that's
So
pretty clear too. Yeah.
Mhm. I remember seeing something about David Gordon Green talking about the shamrock, the silver shamrock mask thing that was going to play a part in the script, but they cut it out. Which I don't know if they ever shot it, but I don't know. It wouldn't have made the movie any better. But I was just going to say earlier that guy's doing conventions.
Yeah, we saw
What's
him at
that
one.
guy's name? Rowan Campbell.
Yep.
Yeah, I know his table's probably going to be empty, so I'm going to go over and ask him. I got to talk to him about ends. I got to know what the fuck happened.
He was at a whorehound that we went to, and we looked over, and you're right, his table was fucking empty.
Yeah.
Like, it was like there's nobody around. I just don't think that people really. I mean, initially, like, some people came out of that movie, and I think that they were probably like, "Wow, that they tried something different," and that was, and then. But I think after you think about that movie more and more, at least I hope so, like, you're just kind of like, "This is shit, dog shit." Like,
It never seemed like the actual end to all the stuff that we had. It's just like
right.
something they threw together at the last minute.
And then he followed that up with that fucking Exorcist movie, man. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he just, I don't know what happened to that guy, but like he never recovered after Kills to me. Like it went Kills, Ends, The Exorcist, Believer. It's like you need to take a break or something. Like go find Jesus. I don't know what he needs, but like something to restart his creative process, because all those movies are awful. Anyway, let's move on from Halloween. We talked so Last Night in Soho. Edgar Wright made that film in 2021.
Very
Couple
underrated.
things. Very underrated, Mark. You're right. Had Diana Rigg in it. People know
Mhm.
Diana Rigg now from the fucking Game of Thrones bullshit. I know her from the original Avengers, which is where you should know her from as well, because that series was fucking killer. And she was Impale in that series. You should watch it. But also, everybody in that fucking movie was great. The cinematography was amazing. The music was amazing. I don't know many guys that can put together a movie like Edgar Wright. If you look at his body of work, of course, everybody knows Shaun of the Dead. Hot Fuzz is amazing. I even like The World's End, even though I think that's the least of like those movies. And then like get into his other films, like what was the fucking one everybody's like a cult film that everybody always talks about?
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
This is the
Scott
world.
Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah, if you get into those two, I mean, he just visually, I don't think there's another filmmaker like him really that can
Yep.
weave all that stuff together like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed Baby Driver. I thought that was a pretty good one.
Mhm. Yeah, I've liked all his movies. Last Night in Soho was very well done. Cinematography, production, design. I mean, everything about it was just right. The story itself, like, is probably up for debate for some. I could go with some people not liking that, I guess, but as far as making a film, I mean, he knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah,
Like, that's not even debatable. He's great.
I even liked Anya Taylor Joy in it, old Hammerhead, even though like
Look, buddy, here
like I
we
know
go.
I know it's your woman, Mark. I know it is. There's two movies I really liked her in, and the rest of them are debatable. That one and The Menu. I like both those. I like her performances in both those movies.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the menu. She does
So,
look like an alien. She's not a good looking lady. She's pretty
Mark?
ugly.
buddy, Mark, you gonna let you talk about your woman like that? Come on.
I don't
Maggie
know where.
Gyllenhaal looks better than her.
No, Maggie Gyllenhaal don't look better than nothing. Maggie Gyllenhaal doesn't look better than a fence
Buddy,
post. Let's be
I'm
honest.
gonna end the stream right now.
Mark's leaving if you keep his shit up.
She's not that good looking, especially in Furiosa.
I still haven't seen that, so
I haven't seen it either.
I'll take.
You
your
love the
word.
woman so much, but you didn't see her movie that bombed. You're not supporting
Yeah,
her,
Mark, you don't support him. Like,
You don't support her, you're not a fan. Not a true fan.
That'd be
Well,
more
none
money
of-
going in George Miller's pocket, and I think he's kind of lost his way. I don't know what's going on with that guy. It's like he's just obsessed with the Mad Max universe. He's like Cameron. He's
yeah.
only doing Avatar.
So let's see. Oh my god, this one was killer too. I still can't believe this movie exists in this time frame. Malignant came out in 2021. That is such a bizarre movie for so many reasons. It's bizarre because that's a movie James Wan made. In between
Mhm.
all this Conjuring and Insidious universe shit. It's also bizarre because it's basically like a straight kind of like rip off of Basket Case and a bunch of movies like that too, like exploitation style movies. But that scene in the jail cell alone
Mhm.
makes that
That
movie
was
a classic.
did Zoe Bell in the jail.
Oh,
with
it
her?
was, yeah.
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 I love
mean,
that movie.
it's-
People really have split opinions about that movie too a lot, but I loved
Mhm.
it. It like I didn't like the fact that it ripped off Basket Case and all those movies like that, but at the same time, the more I think about it, the more I like the fact that that movie even exists because it shouldn't. Like nobody else made a movie like that at all around that time period. Like
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a risky move. I mean, it didn't pay off, but I
no.
mean, I'm still glad it happened. I enjoyed Malignant. I could see how a lot of people wouldn't though. It's not for everybody for sure. But I thought I was very entertained. I love the look of the killer. You mentioned Basket Case, but it was definitely an inspiration, like a lot of other movies. Were clearly an inspiration with the lighting and a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it had giallo tints to it.
Mhm.
It had, those kind of Henlotter kind of tints to it.
Yeah, the 80s Henenlotter vibe.
Yeah, it just had a lot of those. And that, when you recognize that stuff, you kind of mark out for it. Like if you know those movies really well. So,
Mhm.
love that
I
movie.
fully agree. I thoroughly loved it. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised because the way it was marketed, I thought, it's going to be like The Conjuring. It's going to be another ghost story movie. And uh, maybe because I had that mentality, I didn't expect the twist. I'm sure it's predictable for others, but for me, I did. I was just so used to he did Insidious, he did The Conjuring. It's just going to be another possessed ghost thing. I I loved it. I liked the cast. I liked the Jello, the lighting. I thought the gore was good. I love it. The finale is like a horror version of John Wick, and it was insane. And
It really is. Yeah,
I
that's a good
pre-
way to put it.
it was refreshing. Like it felt in the films that go into theaters, it felt unique compared to others. So I honestly don't get why I hated so much when you look at some of the stuff, in my opinion, that gets praised. I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I know Mark, you said you get it. I don't understand it, to be honest. I'm not saying it's wrong. No, fuck you, don't like it. Suck
It's
my dick.
it's such a
But it's a
departure from what he did before, though. Like people love
Mhm.
Insidious and the Conjuring movies, and I think those are okay for what they are. I think Malignant's just more my speed. I'm if you don't see the influences, I think you probably wouldn't love it as much as I do. Um,
Hmm.
but it still has a lot going for it, even outside of that. I think it's still thoroughly entertaining. And as a slasher fan, like I don't know how you couldn't like it. it's it's got all the mystery element. Even if you can figure out what's going on ahead of like the reveal, it's still a fun ride all the way up until that point to me. So that's my take on it.
Well, we to compare the movies that you be mentioned before, Candyman, Halloween Kills, and stuff he'll mention afterward. It's
Mhm.
definitely above a lot of those.
I get the impression that that was one that James Wan just wanted to make. I think that he was just like, I fucking sit around and make all these movies for these studios, these goddamn Conjuring and Insidious movies I've been locked into now for 10, 15 years. I just want to make something, that I want to make that takes some risks. And that's what he did. And he really didn't, I don't think he gave a fuck if people liked it or not.
It's one of the few things also that like I know he wrote the story for.
Yeah.
Like him and his wife actually wrote the story for Malignant. Um,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
I know he does like do some story stuff, but not usually full screenplays. I think the only full screenplay that he was actually involved with was Conjuring 2, I think. But the rest of the stuff, it's like it was either Lee Winnell or like he just have like a story credit. So yeah, it's a fun movie. I would recommend it to other people if they haven't seen it, especially if you like slashers.
So the next one comes from, is partially made possible by my boy Tom Savini. It made a damn fortune in the theaters, surprisingly, as a matter of fact. On a budget of $16 million, it made $161 million at the box office, and that is The Black Phone.
Oh,
Scott Derrickson directed. I listen, I know it's a more mainstream movie that made it to theaters and all that shit. But that being said, like I was really surprised at how, especially with Ethan Hawke, about how well he played that role and how much I liked the movie up till the very end when it kind of became. But most films fucking die at the very end nowadays, anyway. Um, but everything else leading up to that, I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
fully agree. Even the ending, I agree. The ending, I think things could have been fine tuned a bit more. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it felt rushed or it felt too Home Alone like or some of that nature, but agree on Ethan Hawke. I like the premise of the film. Scott Derrickson, I've been impressed more and more. Uh, I even liked his segment on the last VHS movie. And I've been very critical of those VHS movies because I haven't liked most of them, but the last one, he
That
did a segment
was
that,
one of the best segments. I'll agree with you on that.
yeah, Yeah, exactly. I thought that was really good. I might won't spoil it for people who haven't seen it. But yeah, the Black Phone. Are they still doing that sequel that's not needed?
I don't know.
Last I
That's a
saw,
great
yeah,
way to
they
put
are.
it.
But yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
coming apparently. I'm not sure when.
Okay, so I'm skipping a bunch here just because there's so many movies that came out this year for some reason. Like this is Hollywood's rebound or something, or film rebound in general after COVID. Apparently, The Sadness.
What year was
That's
that?
a movie. That's a movie I watch. I'll never watch it again. I have no desire to watch that movie ever again. Like I enjoyed it, but it's like, nah,
You don't want to watch the skull fucking scene again?
no. Skull fucking scene is once you've seen it, once you've seen one skull fucking scene, you've seen them all, really.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, there's not much of a real story to it.
No.
People get infected with some shit and then they just kill each other.
I guess I'm very. I forget what the word is. Not burned out, but I didn't really see what the big deal was for all the hype. I know there's a word for that, where you see so much and your brain's like in this neutral quality that I'm like, I've seen much worse stuff in a dozen upon dozen movies like this. It's just like you said, Mark, people get infected, some people die. It felt overrated like that Train to Busan movie, to me at least.
Hmm.
Like got all this hype and I'm like, okay, I don't think it's the worst, but I'll never see it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me though.
No, I mean, I didn't mind it. It definitely is a really good looking movie. For what it's worth, the effects were really good. Not really any CGI from what I can remember. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. If that's
Nothing
the best
special though.
if that's the best movie you've seen put out in the past 10 years, then I suggest you watch a whole bunch more fucking movies, Ragnar. Like something's wrong with you.
He likes his
Either that
movies
or
brutal. He likes the
Yeah.
brutality.
I suggest you get some psychological help immediately. Like one of the two.
Wow. Jesus.
Probably
Shit.
probably one of my favorite movies to come out of that year, oddly enough, was Willy's Wonderland. I to this day, I still think about that movie and I just fucking laugh because it's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But something about it works. Nick Cage doesn't say a damn word throughout that whole movie, but something about that performance completely works to me. And something about like when you see him in Longlegs, which we are going to be talking about like later on, like I mean, it kind of wipes away every other performance you've seen him do in a horror film, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me it did. I'm just like, I can't like that performance is untouchable in that way. It's so crazy. But the Willy's Wonderland was kind of a precursor to that. I guess it was all a little bit fucking crazy too. And I just love that movie. I think it's 1,000 times better than any of those movies, those Five Nights at Freddy's movies and all that shit that tried to come out like later on that
Mm-hmm.
were the same type of movies. It's just fun and clearly meant to be like taken, just face value kind of fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says a bit when I think it was on the features on this. Nick Cage said it's like he wanted to do like Killer Clowns from Outer Space meets like High Plains Drifter or something like that. And that's where his mindset was at. If whether you want to get the connection or not, that combination just sold it for me. Again, when I saw the premise, I thought, okay, it's not shot like an 80s movie, but this is a premise feel that would be an 80s movie. That weird, quirky action. There are flaws, some of the
I can
shaky
see that.
cam and stuff,
Yeah.
But just the way the designs, the aesthetic, how for first, it's not really silent movie. Like I said, the fact that he doesn't talk at all, the fact that you just have this over the top guy that just, in terms of like, he just beats the hell out of these creatures, is like this primal entertainment feel to it. Like I said, the music is catchy. There's some decent bits of gore. It's fun. I agree. Like UB said, it's just fun. It's entertaining. And I've watched that film again a month ago, and it was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes movies just need to be fun. And that it knew what it was, and it gave you the entertainment value you were looking for, at least in my eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he just wants to drink, just like me drinking this. He just wants to drink, work, get the hell out, and play his arcade pinball machines, whatever. That's what I would do too. Leave me the hell alone.
He's just trying to clean the place up, and they keep fucking with him. He has to keep re-cleaning it. It's like every janitor's nightmare.
right.
It is a great film, though. Moving on to 2022, though. There's some great movies in this year, and there's some god-awful movies in this year, too. So let's go through them. Barbarian. Everybody loved that fucking movie, man. And there's still a ton of people that loved it. And I just watched it, and I was like, what is there
I
to
thought
love?
the first act of the movie, like before they finally get down into the underground layer, I thought was solid enough. I guess it's like the first 30 minutes
Before Justin Long appears.
Yes. Justin Long is really like
that's a good
kills
way to
that
put it.
movie.
To
me.
I mean, he's such a shithead character. Like,
It's such a badly written and acted character too, though. It just completely brings the movie to like a halt for me.
yeah. I think I really enjoyed the Richard Brake sequence. It's like about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's set in like the 80s or something. And he doesn't really even say anything, but I kind of like the idea of that, where they set it up where you don't really even, they show enough so that you get the idea, basically. And that was fine. But other than that, like, when you look at it as a whole, it's very unbelievable and ridiculous. And it got so silly at the end. I was done.
I know movies, I mean, they're fantasy. You're not supposed to look at realism. I get that. There's plenty of films I could do that with. But it was like hard for me to believe, like, this one guy dug this entire city of a fucking crypt, like miles of tunnels by himself that no one like barely noticed under his fucking house. And then here's this woman with her titties out, like, giving milk to people. And I don't know if that was meant to be funny, or if that was meant to be scary, or was that meant to be both?
I just
was like,
people hyped that movie up like it was the second coming or something, like, for a while there. And then I watched it and I was like, but this movie's already been done. Like, it was done in the 70s, or either 70s or 80s, when they did, like Don't Go in the Basement and shit like that. Like, where there's something like, what was the other one? The Hidden, I think. No, not The Hidden. The Unseen. It's the same fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they really didn't add a whole lot to it other than the fact that it's a woman. So, the fact that it blew everybody's skirt up, I was just like, I don't understand. Like, this is not a new concept or anything. But whatever.
Well, it was. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, it's not necessarily anything to do with the movie itself, but I remember that guy's table. Everybody was all over his table at the convention. The guy who plays the female deformed thing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a really, really tall guy. I can't remember his name. But,
a guy played her?
Yeah, that's a guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's like 7'7". It's insane. I was like looking way up. He's so fucking tall. But he was a super nice guy. I just didn't like the movie that much.
So what if he's playing a crazy lady? Why would you hire a 7 foot tall guy to play like an emaciated, crazy victim lady?
Who knows?
But you
For some
hire a
reason,
7 foot tall guy.
The inbreeding, I guess. I don't know.
Ah,
You're
yeah.
asking me. I don't know. That movie.
I'm just curious.
I do like this comment though. Barbarian was the strangest date movie. The
Oh,
girl I went
man.
with brought her mom along. Yeah,
Wow.
that had to be an experience. I feel that you're probably right, Alfa Romero. This is a good comparison too. It's the Unseen meets
Mhm.
Castle Freak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Then we got I'm skipping over a bunch here just to get to the main ones, but the Hellraiser reboot, reimagining, refuckery.
Hell in a Cell Razor.
Helen. I think the less we say about that movie, the better. Just to let you know, I hated it and thought it was boring and thought it was fucking stupid, and the whole idea is awful.
It's like, even if you wanted to say that it's another Hellraiser story, which that's what they were going for, they weren't trying to remake the original. It's just not worthy of anything. Like, some of the designs of the Cenobites I was fine with, but beyond that, there was only one character that I thought was at least slightly interesting, and he's not in the movie at all. He's in it for like maybe 20 minutes. So I'm like, that lead chick, oh man, I could give a fuck about her character.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, I didn't care at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lousy story about a drug addicted lady who you don't care about, who's unlikable.
It's
I
the
swear
Evil Dead remake. It's the same thing.
Yeah. It's also is the worst part about it to me, like it's just boring. Like, how the fuck do you make a boring Hellraiser movie? Like, but they did. They figured out a way, like, to make it really, really like drawn out and with nothing happening the majority of the time, and just, people randomly just see Pinhead and then get scared for a minute, and then
very uneventful movie. I swear there was a scene where someone tripped on someone that wasn't there. Like, they tripped on thin air and fell on their face for some reason. And yeah, lack of creativity.
So fuck Hellraiser. So next would be Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I think we all know.
Mm-mm.
We don't even need to fucking go into that. Yeah. If you watch that movie and like it, then I encourage you to go dunk your head in water until you fucking pass out. Like, that's all I can say.
Pretty bad.
Nope. And I literally mean Nope, the movie.
I'm the odd man out. As much as I give crap to Jordan Peele, I liked it for what it was. I liked the concept of a UFO that eats people. That got it for me. It's not going to be for everybody, but for some reason that just hit the mark for me. I'm like, okay, it's pretty much like a shark movie in the sky. They're hunting a shark. Only the shark is a man-eating UFO with a vagina face. I'm like, okay, for some reason. Especially the scene with like all the people are sucked up and you see like the inside where they're all screaming, which remind me a bit of Fire in the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get that there's flaws. Trust me. I liked it for what it was. I don't blame you for not liking it.
What the fuck is this? This comment. You didn't like Nope, that means you're a racist.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never made it through that movie. Like I always watched about half of it, and I was like, I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. I can't care enough to get through this movie.
I enjoyed it. I went in for spectacle, and that's what it was. It looked amazing. I saw it in IMAX, and that's what he shot it with, using the IMAX cameras. And I don't have any. Well, the one issue that I did have with it was not enough of actors that I really like. Like Keith David is gone within like 5 minutes. Michael Wincott is barely in it, maybe 25 minutes, and
Yeah.
his role should have been more significant. It was fine though. I do like what you were saying, Rambo, like the idea of the UFO being that. I knew there was going to be something to it that was a little bit more than just little green men or alien grays running around. So I'm glad it
I
delivered
can't.
on that part at least.
Yeah, I can't help. I mean, I know people find it boring. That's fine. I just that it didn't seem as racial for Jordan Peele. Like there's a little bit of it, but not as much as his other films. So I kind of appreciated that. He toned that back a bit. And again, like it's like Jaws if the shark was a UFO. That just appealed to me because I've just maybe because I see so many movies on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
That when I see something unique like that, it's going to be more refreshing to me than someone who just don't give a fuck about that. So that's where my own weird mind space is at.
Probably one of my favorite movies of that year, 2022, was Ty West's Pearl. Now, here's the weird thing about that set of movies, right? Especially the first two. You've generally got one of two camps. You've got the people that are like, I liked X better and Pearl ain't worth shit. Or you got people that are like, I like Pearl and X ain't worth shit. So I suppose I fall into the I like Pearl. I don't think X was shitty. I just think it was just kind of just average film. But I thought Pearl was the one where I was like, all right, this has actually got, something to it. Like, because the way the movie was shot was different than anything I'd ever seen. The performance that Mia Goth gave in that movie was, I don't give a fuck. It was outstanding. Like, probably award worthy to me in a lot of ways. I just thoroughly enjoyed that movie of how different it was than anything else that was around at that time. But a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people like X for some reason. Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably in the camp of like I like Pearl more than X. X is very simple. There's not a whole lot to it. While Pearl is very much a character study type of thing. And you see Mia Goth going down the rabbit hole of just getting more and more lost in her own psychosis. X, I don't hate it. It's fine. It just, one, it was very overhyped. It was very, very overhyped. The whole 70s aesthetic, I guess it's okay. I know that blew a lot of people away. Didn't do a whole lot for me. And then I thought, like, because it's a standard slasher, the kills were just okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. Just didn't have enough going on. That's why I did like Maxine a little bit more. There's a lot more going on. But people might want simplicity. Like, I think that's why so many people like X.
Well, the thing about X, though, was exactly what you were saying. Like, there was nothing in that movie that you hadn't seen done before. Except maybe, well, one of the porn sequences I can think of. But like, in terms of a horror film, there's nothing in that movie that like was unusual, really, for a slasher film. But in Pearl, it's like everything about it was unusual. Like some of the scenes in it, the way it was shot, like everything was to me different about that movie. He really tried something new. Like he tried to take a risk with something and combine like Technicolor kind of shit from the 30s with like a modern horror film, psychological kind of character study.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoyed that film.
And neither one of you have seen Maxine yet, right?
No, haven't seen it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I'd like Maxine more than X for sure. It just I'm a big Kevin Bacon mark. I think you guys know that by now.
Yeah.
But that's part of why I like it so much. That character just does it for me. It's very, very reminiscent of Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, which I love. So that alone had me hooked the whole time. I see somebody, was it Alpha Romero? You said it's a mess. I disagree, man. I mean, I could see some people not liking the third act. Maybe even the whole identity of the killer was somewhat predictable. I saw other people say that, but overall, I still think it's more tolerable for me than X was. I definitely watch Maxine more. Well, Alpha Romero, if that's what you think, go ahead.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
it's your opinion.
I just
Kevin Bacon was awful.
oh yeah.
I haven't seen Pearl. Have not seen Maxine. I hated X. Fuck X. I hate that fucking movie. It's like the whole bit is like this old ass woman is horny and she like kill people because she's 80 years old. She's horny.
Yep.
Find a dick. Find a dick then.
She had that old guy.
That whole movie could have been over in 10 minutes if she just found a dick. Yep.
If her husband had the dick, well, if they had pills in the 70s to take, everybody would be alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do I like horny cooters? Not if they're 80 years old and ready to turn to dust if you breathe on them wrong. No. It's people's cup of tea. That's fine if they like dust in the vajayjay. I don't like dust in there. Like that Dumb and Dumber sequel that you saw. Fuck you.
So there's the debate rages on with fucking Pearl. What about Five Cream? That came out in 2022.
Oh,
I almost forgot that happened.
That's the worst fucking Scream movie by far to me. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the unpopular opinion for some. Everybody hates Scream 3, but I don't. So
I don't hate Scream. I thought everybody hated Scream 4.
I hate Scream 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scream 5.
What's the consensus? Everybody's all over the
Yeah. Yeah. What is the worst Scream film? I'll give you a hint. It's 5.
For me, it'd be 5.
Yeah, same.
I wish it was 5 Cream. That sounds tastier than what the fuck Scream 5 was. The plot where it's like it's the fans because they want to say that the fans are awful and the fans, if they don't get their way, they'll kill people. I mean, maybe some will, but not most will. Hopefully, They're killing off David Arquette and the stupid way they did it, and the new characters were lame, and the ending. I didn't say that in the fucking cat. He moaned when I talked about Scream 5. It's like, shut up. He don't want me to talk about Scream 5 anymore. So fuck Scream 5. Was it that one or Scream 6? No, that was Scream 6, baby. What the fuck was the ending of 5?
Listen.
Oh, the party.
Yeah, the party in Stu's house.
I was getting that confused with 6's ending. Which is
Listen,
shit.
I just want to say this real quick. If you look, it's hard for us to take you seriously if you come in here and say Scream 5 was fucking watchable.
Yeah, Alpha.
Look,
Like
Alfa Romero. Like
you gonna shit on
He's
Kevin
he's
Bacon and you
shit,
like Scream
yeah, he's
5.
Not for
shitting on all
me.
these movies. Then he's like, Scream 5 was pretty fun nostalgia pick. Shut up. Damn it.
Teach someone else
Come in here
Romero.
with that
Scream
fucking
5 just
opinion.
wasn't for me. I hated it. It's cool if people like it. For me, it was just. I know they made money, but these new films they bring nothing to the table that's that intriguing of a story or witty. They don't even make like what do they even really say about horror films? Like what Scream was talking about slasher. They don't even do that anymore. So what is their actual basis? Like what are they actually deep down about other than getting a paycheck? What is it even about
I don't know what Scream
anymore?
5 was about. It's
It was the killer was killing off all the people that were related to the previous characters.
and I just
So,
remember the reveal at the
that
end
was
of it
really
was
it.
like completely anticlimactic. Like you didn't give a fuck.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that the ending to Scream 6 was actually better, and it was awful.
Mhm.
I mean, so
Mhm.
yeah. Our favorite movie by far this year, though, has the next one, Skinamarink. There is no better use of film in this world than Skinamarink. I'll tell you right now. Like, I don't give a damn what anybody says.
I don't even know if I have anything to say.
Is there anything that needs to be said about that movie?
It's not a movie. It's
Whatever
just
that is.
record the
hasn't
carpet and the Lego pieces and fucking
record the
toilet
carpet.
seat.
Hey, you imagine the set of that fucking movie. Hey, Jim, can you get over here and record this fucking carpet real quick? Get the
Imagine what
assistant.
the script looked like if there was one. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell do you even write down?
It's like toilet is there now. It's gone. Lego piece. Yeah. Lego piece A.
I still don't get how they got into a theater.
Because that's
I
Like
don't
that.
know.
how?
That was an avant-garde masterpiece. You don't know that? That's what that was.
I guess.
It's like you could take a random YouTube video and you would get more out of in a theater than that movie. Random Legos and walls and wall peelings and ceiling fans or where the hell else was in the movie. No
Yeah,
story, no plot,
the guy that
nothing.
made it was a YouTuber, and his entire YouTube channel is a bunch of shorts that are basically Skinamarink.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. So like any
People were
I could
coming out
find
of
fifth.
Oh, go ahead, man.
What?
I was just gonna say
No, go
people were
ahead.
coming out of the fucking woodwork being like, well, it's about like growing up and the childhood like fears, and I'm just like,
Where?
Who's afraid
you
of their
say
Lego
so,
pieces?
motherfucker. Yeah. I know I was always terrified of the carpet. Yeah. So let's just get past Skinamarink because that movie just makes me angry thinking about it. Or not really a movie, that whatever that is. Terrifier 2.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the most uncomfortable experiences that I had when I first saw like clips from that movie, the bedroom sequence, and anybody that's seen that movie knows what I'm talking about. And when I saw that, I was like, this genuinely makes me uncomfortable. And I haven't felt that way in a long, long time. So for that reason alone, the fact that he had the balls to do something like that and that it became, kind of a cult sensation. I really, really like that film. I like the story of it. People are like, it's too fucking long. I never thought that. Like, I always thought that it had like a decent enough story to back up like everything that was going on in the film. There's scenes in that movie that I love where I think that what's the guy's name? Guy that plays Art. I think he does.
David Howard Thornton.
Yeah, I think he does an amazing job with no dialogue, like conveying just pure fucking insanity, and I just think it's great.
Yeah, I always say it's like I call it silent charisma. He says nothing, but
It's like Dean Malenko.
there's a
Sorry.
But I mean, it's fine for what it is. I don't think like the acting is like Oscar worthy or anything, but it's fine for what it is. I mean, it's like Rob Hall when Rob Hall did his movies. It's the same thing. It's an effects guy making a horror flick. It's just an orgy of badass effects work. Um, and the story itself is there's a little bit more to it. The first one didn't really have anything from what I remember. He was just literally going around killing people for no reason.
Yeah, well, that's why I think because somebody said the first Terrifier was better. I look at this the same way as I look at like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, right? Because like on the one hand, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is strictly like an exploitation film with no like it's no real sense of humor or anything like that. And the second one is obviously like more of a comedy with more gore and stuff like that. Same thing with these movies. If you watch the first Terrifier, it's much more of like an exploitation, greedy, dark fucking film. When you watch the second one, there's much more like humor and things like that injected into it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Better
much
music.
more, yeah, much more character development, things like that. Like it just, I don't know. It's like apples and oranges, to use a horrible phrase that should never be mentioned on here again. It's like apples and oranges. It really is.
Yeah, it had a lot more going for it. I thought it actually set up a lot that if you did like part 2, makes you curious about what they're going to do in the third one, which comes out in a couple months. Yeah, the first one, like he really had no money. There's a lot of technical issues with that movie that I noticed, like sound effects and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And all of that is smooth over to the 10th degree, and like in the second one, it's a way better flick.
well, there's in the first one, there's the scene in the diner, which is now kind of classic, where he's finally like scouting out the girls and everything. And he just stares at them in that one scene, and they come over and try to mess with him and stuff. And that scene's great because he never breaks character whatsoever. Similarly, in the second film, there's a scene like that, but it's more comedic. I still think it's as good because of the way that it's played. Is the scene where she's in like what is it, like a novelty shop or something like that, and he's behind her like trying on glasses and shit, and then like sneaks up on her. It's fucking terrifying, but for two completely different reasons. Like it works both the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all really cool too in person. I like all those guys on a personal level. They're all super fun to talk to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the third one. I think it's got a cool premise with the whole Christmas thing. That's kind of a cool thing to do. I'm always up for a Christmas thing.
I'm curious to see what he does with that movie. I really am. How he gets around that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Talk to Me. That movie's fucking, I don't know. I liked it when it came out. It's just I don't give a fuck now.
Foot sucking. The foot sucking scene.
Foot sucking. The Menu is probably one of my favorite movies of that year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. You hear that, Scaps? There's another film I enjoyed, fuckhead.
Yeah.
Because like you hate everything.
Yeah.
They have like 10 fucking movies I like. There's another one I enjoyed, dickhead. The Menu.
Bastard.
So.
Also, while we're at it, Ragnar, if you want to fuck a sheep in a clown outfit, that's fine with me. I don't know why you have to bring it up on here, though. I mean, Jesus, it's not. This is not that kind of format. It's whatever you're into, though. There's a lot of shit.
What else was Terror Train 2.
Terror Train 2, yeah.
The Black and Ink.
VHS 99. I don't watch any of those VHS movies. I know you do, Mark. God bless you.
I do. I don't love all of them though. That's definitely not my bread and butter.
It's fucking, okay, so let's get to 2023 then. And this will be the last year. Then we'll talk about Daddy Longlegs. Abigail. I love that fucking movie. I understand there'll be a lot of people that won't love that movie, but I
Mhm.
thought it was great. I thought the kid in it was great. The fact that they played Danzig's Blood and Tears in it, I marked the fuck out. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, I never in my life in a million years thought I would ever hear that fucking song in any movie. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I don't mind all the gore and whatnot, but that ending just so I hate in any movie where they take a character. This is the bad guy. This is the antagonist, and then by the end, maybe they're gonna turn babyface. Maybe we should like them. That's one of those things that I really don't like, and that movie did that. And oh man, they killed my favorite person in the movie. Not gonna say who. I'm trying not to spoil it, but yeah, I don't know. I know Matthew Good pops up in there, and it was kind of a waste, honestly, because he wasn't really in it that long. Yeah, I hated the ending. That's my biggest thing. I hate that ending.
I could see why, I guess.
Yeah.
There were scenes in it that reminded me of like Night of the Demons, where one person gets possessed and like
Mm-hmm.
kind of, and then
Don't they
uh
stop to do like a dance scene?
yeah, that's what
Pop
reminded me
lock
of it.
scene?
Yep.
Okay. Trying to
And
remember it.
God, I got to get rid of the fucking Indian guy here. Hold on one second. He's a strong Indian man from India, and everyone's scared of his power. This comment is on a
Is it
guest
Taka?
destination. One of y'all delete this guy. He's on one of y'all shit. Baljeet. Baljeet.
Okay.
That's fine. I can't even
Add,
see him on mine.
add you on a panel. Shut the fuck up, Baljeet. He's a good man.
Oh, I think you know what? I think he's on mine. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh,
I, what? Hold on for a second. Like, so I go to YouTube, and Garrett's doing a stream. It says the truth about Dead Pit Radio.
What?
That's what it says.
What the fuck?
That's a thumbnail. I know.
The truth about Dead Pit Radio.
It's an expose.
That's a fucking expose. Oh, here's some truth about Dead Pit Radio right now. You guys have the potential to do something historic since there is the number of people in here right now that there are. We are, I think, probably at this point, less than 20 people away from 2,000 or 10,000 people, subscribers. So if you know anybody like your grandmother or anything like that, that does not subscribe to us, then please subscribe to us. Because that would help us out a lot here in the next little while. His anger is feared in India.
I put you on timeout, man.
Oh God. A lot of trolls in here tonight. A lot of trolls. I came in and said, "Wow, that's a lot of trolls." Okay, so next up would be Beau is Afraid. I've never seen that movie. I know that's one of your favorites, Rambo. Possibly your favorite movie.
oh yeah. It is. I love it. I love how boring it is. I love the how pretentious it is and how the guy spelled his own farts with how much that movie is fantastic. I love the dit almost said the dit demon is another thing. The
Yeah.
the monster thing. People like that film, it's fine. That's one of those movies I go, this is slow and pretentious as hell. People like it, that's fine. I don't
Mark
get it.
liked it.
No.
I know Phantasmat likes it. What's good about it, dude? I mean that sincerely in a nice way. I love having conversations about that. It's fine. People disagree. Unless that one guy is like, scaps.
You know,
But
honest to God, I've been talking about movies on the internet for close to 20 years now, and it still surprises me that people fucking freak out over different opinions about movies. I know it's hard to believe, but like, we're not going to like the same things. And you really can't objectively fucking prove a movie is good or bad anyway. So calm the fuck down. Speaking of which, Cocaine Bear, objectively a great movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, I've said this a million times. I wish it had gone a little bit further with its premise and just went all out.
It
crazy.
should have been. That was the one thing about that movie. I was like, why wasn't there just a ton of Cocaine Bear?
Mhm.
Like that should have been just the whole thing. There should be no subplots with Robert Patrick and shit in it, or like, you know what I mean?
Ray
Like,
Liotta, man.
Ray Liotta, sorry, yeah. Like it should have just all been about like Cocaine Bear just going crazy on people, kind of like Feast. That's what I imagine that movie should have been like. You remember Feast?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, enjoy Feast.
yeah, but with a bear rather than
Yeah.
a little alien guys.
Yeah, I agree. Just too many unneeded subplots that just didn't really go much of anywhere, and they took away from really what people were going to see the film in the first place. And that was a mistake. But at the same time, look who directed it. Same lady did that Charlie's Angels reboot. Wrong director for it. Elizabeth Banks, or what was
Elizabeth
Elizabeth?
Yeah,
Banks.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, not the right director for it, in my opinion, to do that kind of movie.
Oh man, Evil Dead Rise. It's another movie where people fucking come all over themselves about it, and I'm just like,
We did a commentary on that.
yeah. God bless you though. If you like that movie, I mean, more power to you. But
Of course.
what a shitty fucking movie that. I mean, just the ending of it with the whole like
The
coming
thing.
together thing pieces like that. I didn't understand it.
I was not a fan. I don't think they
Well,
could do anything else Evil Dead that I'll actually ever be into.
No,
So I
I
hope
don't
that's
either.
another franchise they just stop making.
they're doing more.
Yeah, they'll never. I
unfortunately.
mean, it's just going to keep making money. So I didn't
Mhm.
know this movie came out in 2023. We've never talked about this movie yet either. Late Night with the Devil.
I liked it. I like David Dastmalchian's performance a lot. It's my favorite thing in it. There's a scene where someone levitates in a chair, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm liking this movie as much as I did when it started." Because I mean, that's the most obvious fucking thing that you could do in a movie where it's got to do with
Yeah.
possession or whatever. Let's levitate somebody in something. So it was very original and fun up until that point. And then the last act I'm iffy on, but I still like the movie. The effects, don't like the CGI, wasn't needed. A lot of the stuff that they did do could have all been done practically.
That stuff, he becomes like Electro with the
Yeah.
electricity stuff. Super powerful.
And that might have actually been really cool had they just done all prosthetic work and put some lights in the head or whatever the hell you're going to do. I would have been fine with that. But just the way it comes off, the floating and the so many parts of it were just bothered me. At least in the third act.
Yeah, I thought it was just okay. But what I didn't like, it starts off as it's not documentary. Well, Michael Ironside narrating like a documentary, which was cool to hear Michael Ironside's voice. And
Mhm.
then you think, okay, it's going to be the actual footage. That's where, but then it's like it is, but then it isn't, because then it's like it's breaking the wall and we're seeing what they're talking about behind the scenes. So it's not the footage, because the cameras would be right by them and they'd be like, "What are you doing here? That's not it." So it's like they set that up and then they immediately break it again and again and again. And I'm like, then why didn't you just make a regular movie if it's not this thing you're built up as and you advertise it as? So the fact kept going back and forth where it's like it's the footage that they found, but then it's not, and going back and forth. And like stuff taking me out, like the CGI spitting of the blood, or the completely obvious twist where like 8 times they mention about how he had this, not depth, but like, what would you sell for this? What did you sell to get this? How did you get this job? Like, and I'm like, okay, I know where this is going, and it like it already spoiled itself in the first 15 minutes, and it's not awful, but it's okay. But people are hyping it up as like the best horror film in years. We agree to disagree. I like the lead guy's performance. I've seen much worse. Would I ever see it again? No. It's okay, but I don't think it was better than that, at least to me. That's my opinion.
The one thing I did like about that movie though, and I think everybody universally would agree that old boy's performance, what was the guy's name? David
Desmalchin.
Desmalchin, yeah, was
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
Is I like the way that the film like closes in towards the end, where like it starts off like it feels very like kind of open, not a whole lot is going on.
Okay.
There's no suspense or anything like that. And as it goes on, like you feel like everything closing in, like even the audience and stuff's getting more and more nervous, and like not the I'm talking about the audience in the film is getting more and more nervous, and like it just till the very end where he's like completely cornered by all these decisions and stuff and like what's going to happen. And yeah, I just like the way that that was done. It really like takes you on this weird kind of like journey with him, and you watch in real time like what happens. I did not like the stupid ass like Exorcist rip off shit that they did in it. I just was like, that's completely unnecessary. Like, just do anything else. You know what I mean? Like, they basically had like a complete Exorcist clone that
Okay.
just come on there, and I just hated that. Like, it just took me completely out of it. And like you were saying, the CG was ridiculous too. I did like the fact that they had a Uri Geller kind of guy,
Mhm.
because that's clearly who that guy was supposed to be. Who was like whole thing was to debunk, all these different things. Which I mean, I love that guy, the real guy, and not Uri Geller, but the guy that debunked Uri Geller and all those fucking guys. What was his name? The Amazing Randy, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had him be as like one of the main characters, and like a Uri Geller kind of guy, and like other guys that he would debunk and all that stuff. So that was cool to have like that kind of spin on it. But it just towards the end, I don't know. It didn't pay off the way that I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Knock at the Cabin. I didn't give that much of a fuck about either way.
Right.
Pet Cemetery Bloodlines, the best movie that came out that year by far.
Didn't see it.
Don't.
No. Renfield, you talk about a wasted potential for a fucking movie. That was probably another one that had a lot of potential and fucked it up. You know why it fucked it up?
I have an idea.
One fucking word. Should be two, but it's one in this case. Aquafina. Yep. Comedic relief and just too much stupid fucking bullshit comedy. Just killed it. Wasted a really good Nicolas Cage performance. Just yeah.
I do enjoy the film, but she was absolutely awful. I agree with that. So, yeah, I do enjoy it, but I wish she was not in the film. I could absolutely see why their enjoyment would be ruined by her because she's that funny. She was irritating, and she didn't need to be in it. Just the guy and Nick Cage. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. I like the action. I like Nick Cage. I didn't mind the lead guy's performance. I like some of the gore, violence, action stuff. But anytime she opened her mouth, was very. I don't see how she got popular. I've seen her in other stuff. I just don't find her funny. I don't find her that likable. She just seems very irritating of a person, at least movie wise.
She just seems irritating in general, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of bullshit that also came out this year too. Saw 10, fucking no. Scream 6, no. Jesus Christ.
Exorcist Believer.
Exorcist Believer. But in the middle of all that, you have Thanksgiving, which did something that I didn't think was possible. Made Eli Roth look competent for a brief second.
Yeah.
No.
Enjoyed it for what it was. I liked it. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same here.
And then The Nun 2, which we all loved. The Last Voyage of Dimitri.
God, that was boring. I did see that.
I don't know
Horrendously
how they
boring.
thought they could make a movie out of that when, if I remember correctly, they're in the book, they're on the Demeter for like
10
2 or 3
pages, maybe.
pages. Yeah, it's like,
Or
and
less.
you know that everybody's fucking dead. Like, there's no. Why would you even make the movie? Like, it's just kind of pointless. Like, I don't think anybody
Well, I
ever.
mean, someone survives, to be fair.
Oh well, okay, yeah. But still, like,
No idea what you mean. It's 2 hours of them on a boat, and it takes forever to realize there's a vampire that's looking like a bit like Nosferatu with a lot of CG enhancements. And I'm sitting there going, at one point they know there's a vampire. They know it can burn with daylight. So they wait till nighttime to look instead of looking in the day or tearing up their boat. Tear up the floor of the boat and the sun goes everywhere and then he's dead and then the movie's over and stop being a fucking idiot. But the movie has to be 2 hours because they're stupid. They're
yeah,
fucking dumb.
I've questioned that ever since it came out. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, why would you make a story about anything that happens on the Demeter? Nobody's gonna care. But it happened.
I thankfully did not see that movie. Still this day. The Outwaters I did see, and I wanted to fucking kill myself. So do not watch The Outwaters. That is Skinamarink times 2, if you can imagine.
Oh man.
I'm not sure which of those movies I hate more, but they're both awful. The Pope's Exorcist, I did not see. And I guess the one to end on is probably my favorite of that year, which is When Evil Lurks. I still think that might be my favorite movie from this past year. I don't know what it was about it, but it took me completely off guard. Everything about that movie, from the atmosphere to the gore to the just nothing good happens in it. Like, I mean, it has such a fucking down. It's just everything that can go wrong in that movie goes wrong for every character, and it's just so bleak. I love it. I loved it.
Yeah,
Haven't
it's
seen
yeah, it's a very interesting possession. I'm trying not to spoil that.
Yeah.
but it's really good. I didn't expect everything that happened to happen, and it did catch me by surprise for like a few moments here and there. And I mean, I think that guy's one of the more competent directors. I think we talked about him last night a little bit. He did Terrified.
Yeah, which I watched recently. I bought the Blu-ray and everything because I actually enjoyed When Evil Lurks, and that's another movie that's like horrifying. The title is great because it is. I mean, it's scary as shit. I mean,
It seems like the premise for that should have been done already,
yeah.
but nobody's ever thought to do that. But that was cool too. Yeah, I like
A
that.
couple people are asking here, have I ever been to Jackson, Kentucky? Yes, I've been to Jackson, Kentucky. It's much like around here. And then Just Marino asked if I have any plans to do a spinoff of Torridi like another country. Probably not. Like if I was going to do that, it would be like Japan or China or something like that, or Asia, something, the tour of Asia, because I'm really into those kind of films right now. But so maybe something like that. But there's no other countries that really produce as many films that I liked as Italy. I don't think. Definitely not Spain or fucking. I hate Spanish movies, man. I just fucking hate them. Passion. That's in the whole other thing. Even though When Evil Lurks might be a Spanish movie, now that I think about it. I think that guy is from.
I think he's from like Argentina or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Tour of Bolivia. That'd be killer. Yeah.
Tour of Africa.
Yeah, they made all kinds of great African horror films.
Shaft in Africa.
The Nigerian fucking ones are the best. So that's it for the reviews of the years. There's more films, but most of them suck. Just keep that in mind. That being said, let us talk about Longlegs. No spoilers, because you could spoil this movie at least in one way.
Mhm.
Let's just talk about the film. First question I have for you, Mark, after seeing the film is, do you think that it's hyped too much?
To a degree, yes. It's I mentioned this last night. It's such a slow burn. It's not going to be for everyone. When I was watching it, like go ahead.
No, so is it like Silence of the Lambs? Because that's all I kept hearing. For those who are wondering,
no,
I
it's
haven't
not
seen
like
it.
Silence of the Lambs. Like, I mean,
That's just what.
I guess no, I don't really get that. Like, why people are saying that. Now that I think about it, there's only one way that it's like Silence of the Lambs. That's there's a female like FBI agent in it. In every other fucking way,
Okay.
that doesn't make sense, really.
Not
Okay.
no, not really, but there's a few more elements. I mean, when you look at Cage, I mean, he's sort of and that's not a spoiler. Everybody obviously knows Nicolas Cage is the killer. So, the mystery element of her trying to find him, her studying all the case files, and some of the shots in it, where they sort of like leave the camera on certain sections and like the hallway, and then they push in some of the camera work. There's a couple things here and there, but overall, it's not Silence of the Lambs at all.
No, I don't understand that comparison,
Yeah,
really.
it
Hmm.
does have like some really, really good sound design, or I guess the sound mixing.
Yeah.
I like the music a lot. It's very effective in how they shoot Cage in certain scenes. He doesn't really go off the rails as much as I thought he would, which is good. It's a very unique performance by him, but all of his performances are, but not in the way that you might think. I think his performance works for what they were trying to do. I know his production company was like a part of the making it, and he's been doing some pretty cool stuff. I think Willy's Wonderland was another one that his company was involved with. So, yeah, I enjoyed the movie overall. I think the last act will definitely fuck with a lot of people. The subject matter is very, very dark. I don't mind it. I saw some people online saying that they thought it was too satanic. But again, it is a horror film, so what the hell do you want out of the movie?
I think, yeah, like, I mean, can you really go too satanic in a movie that's about Satanism?
Right.
That's exactly what it's about, really.
Exactly.
I think it's going to be one of those movies where people are going to love bitching about it because it's been hyped so much but it's such a niche film. That's the problem. Like, there's going to be a group of people that are going to absolutely hate it, and there's going to be a group of people that are going to absolutely love it. And it's been hyped so much that group of people that love to be, on the outskirts of everything are going to love fucking hating that movie. And I can just predict it and see it happening now. But the truth of the matter is that that's a movie that just stays with you days after you watch it. And I really don't care like who you are. Like, some of the scenes in that movie will just stick with you, and you'll just be randomly like fucking going about your day, and you'll just remember a scene from that movie.
Is it the atmosphere or is it the
Oh,
story?
it's the story is a little fucking ham-handed in my opinion. Like, it's a little Twilight Zone or something, like a bad Twilight Zone episode.
It definitely starts as one type of horror subgenre and then shifts into something else.
Yeah.
Maybe some people don't see that coming.
Yeah. But I think it is the atmosphere of that movie.
It's got a good atmosphere, yeah.
And the visuals of that movie and Nick Cage's performance in that movie that make it much more memorable than a lot of other stuff that I've seen.
When you say the visuals, is it, because again, I haven't seen it for folks wondering, is it the lighting? Is it the camera work? Is it just the way the director sets up shots? Is it
there's a bunch of dudes right now who are all doing experimental horror films, right? So you got your like Ari Asters, and you got your fucking Robert Eggers, and you got your, Brandon Cronenbergs and things like that. And then in the middle of that, you got Oz Perkins. The difference to me is that he's being experimental, but like, he's actually very competent at making people uncomfortable and while he's doing the experimental shit. So there's scenes in the film that he'll intersplice in like overexposed negatives of like snakes and things like that, demonic kind of imagery, like that kind of stuff. And you'll see it for a split second, and somehow it just works to make you uncomfortable. And the whole film in and of itself, the way that it's shot, and I'll have to go back and watch it to figure out why this is, makes you uncomfortable. Much like I think The Shining, in the sense that like you can't really tell why it's making you uncomfortable, but like something about the way it's shot is just fucking with you in some way or another. And I feel like that's the way that I felt about that movie. And that's the reason why I liked it as much as I did. Aside from Nick Cage, which is also uncomfortable to watch his ass. And I can, there's only about 2 or 3 times when Nick Cage is Nick Cage. So there's 2 or 3 instances where they let him cage out, and he's just like fucking screaming and singing and doing the stuff that he normally does when he's supposed to be acting crazy. The rest of the time, though, he's really his performance is really understated, and he's really low key, and he's really fucking disturbing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, you don't see Nicolas Cage. At least I didn't. Like, in the parts where he's supposed to, when he's not playing crazy Nicolas Cage, you don't even see him. You just see that character.
Yeah, especially when you see him for the first time in, like, I guess it's like a bookstore or something like that. where you see
the
his
first
face for
time,
the first time.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, you don't really get Nick Cage out of it. It kind of fades away, the idea, and you forget, and it's like, okay, I can go with this. And it's there's another scene where I really really enjoyed, um, with um, with him, where he's holding a conversation with himself. Essentially, you remember what part I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah,
It's in the basement,
yep.
and it's only like the second time you see him. I was like, wow, this is great. Like, and I wanted it to stay more in that lane and not have him cage out, but he does cage out a couple times. But yeah, it's still effective. I think
I
it's
think the fact though that he doesn't do it through the whole fucking thing.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like he could have easily
yeah,
played that way, just nonstop the whole way. But
true.
he doesn't, and the fact that he does it a couple of times is almost jarring too, though.
Mhm,
So because you keep waiting for him to be Nicolas Cage, but he doesn't.
right.
And then all of a sudden he'll just throw one out for like, 5 seconds. But then he goes back into that shell of that character, and it's just the whole experience, the whole movie experience to me is just very kind of, I hate to use this word, but I can't think of a better word, like discombobulating. Like just you just feel like you've been through something after you see that movie.
Well, Phantasm Matt brings up a point about the doll thing. How did you feel about the doll stuff?
I like the idea of somebody. Well, in order for me to talk about it, I have to fucking like spoil the film. So I
Okay,
really can't even talk about it. But um, there are parts of it I liked and parts of it I didn't like. I'll put it that way.
okay. I think the if I have any negatives to say about it, and maybe this is more so for me, maybe other people won't catch on to it, but I wanted to go along with the ride of the whole mystery thing. But in the first 20 minutes or so, when Blair Underwood starts to describe the crimes and how they take place and stuff, I'm like, well, there's only one way this could be happening. And when we got to the end, I didn't figure out 100%, but I was halfway there, and I was like, oh, I wanted just a little bit more out of it. But
Yeah.
again, that's a more subjective take on things. Like I just
Well,
wanted a little
you
more.
kind of within the first 20 minutes of the movie, you kind of know where the ending is going to take place. Because there's just no other reason for one specific thing to happen than for
Mhm.
it to be like brought up again in the movie.
Well, I'll say, God, so hard to talk about without
Yeah.
spoiling. So,
Well, do people in the chat care about spoilers? Maybe you could ask that. Like, do people in the chat, would you be mad if Mark and you be spoiled Longlegs? Like, for those who haven't seen it, or because if no one cares, I
We
guess
need
you
like
could.
a
well,
fucking thing on here I can hit that says spoiler. Just pops up like a
yeah,
red spoiler thing that flashes for like 10 seconds. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Okay,
somebody
they
just
say
said
don't
don't
spoil it.
spoil.
Okay,
Yeah, a lot of people are saying don't spoil it. So yeah.
all right. Worth a shot to ask. There, now I know.
Yeah. So I'll say, how do I put this? I can't really say it. Never mind. Because like if I say it, then it'll give something away that gives something else away. So it's better just don't talk about it.
I don't know why though, but like I was really on the fence with Nick Cage in this movie until the very end, until the last scene. And then when he did
Mhm,
that, the scene that ends the movie, I was just
mhm.
like, yeah, he's just in on it too much. It's just too fun. Like it's just it kind of won me over.
Now, are you
Like
talking about the last time his
the
character pops up?
last time his character pops up, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um
Okay.
And then, but that's one of those things too. Well, like I said, while I was in the theater watching it, I was like, I have no idea what I think about this movie. It's dull in places, but it's like you're still trying to figure out what's going on. So it's not that dull. Like you're still kind of caught up in the story, but just like there's long stretches where not a lot happens. I can see people like going on about that. Um, but when it gets around to Cage's parts, I have to be honest, I was fascinated by him and like what he was doing with that because I've never seen anybody do that kind of performance before. So whether you hate it or fucking love it, like I've never seen that before. I'll say that for certain. Like I've never seen that kind of character. I've never seen that kind of performance. And only
Yeah.
he could have probably done that.
I really liked Maika Monroe in it, as well as Alicia
She's
Witt.
great. Yeah.
And Alpha Romero, buddy, what's wrong with you tonight?
He's drunk.
What?
I
Well,
He
guess.
said he thought Maika Monroe sucked or she was unbearable or something.
Yeah.
He's
drunk or clueless. I don't know which, but no. She definitely. I don't have time for this shit tonight. I just don't. Like it's just not.
I like Alpha
not-
Romero.
we're not
I
the
do
same
like
reality.
him, but I don't know what you're talking about tonight.
No, nobody does. Smoke the other bag because the one you got's fucked up. You got ripped off.
And I mean, that was a very different performance for her. I've seen a lot of movies that she's in, and I thought that was very different for her.
She I didn't know it was her. In the beginning, I was like, where the fuck is Maika Monroe at? Like that's how like transformed she is in this movie too.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to seeing her in like the more like glamorous movies and even like, It Follows and things like it just doesn't look like the same person. And her mannerisms are very different than any other role I've seen her in.
Yeah.
She's almost like playing an autistic person in kind of the way that she's going about it.
That's kind of what I got out of it too. Yeah.
How so? Autistic. Well, I guess I have to see the film to understand.
I mean, they kind of give away like what she does in the trailer a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Blair
I haven't seen
Underwood
the
says it
trailer.
in the. Okay.
I'll have to look up the trailer.
It's just she's very emotionless, very socially awkward, and very like short in her answers and kind of responses to things. And she doesn't talk a lot in the movie. And
okay.
Yeah. But she plays that
Gotcha.
very, very well.
And there's a reason also why she's like that, which would spoil the ending. So you know what I'm talking about.
She's an alien.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an
Okay.
alien. Yeah.
This is a twist. I spoiled the twist. She's an alien.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alpha,
I mean, sounds interesting.
Alpha Romero don't care, Bulls. He just don't give a fuck. He don't
But
believe
the
that he
Nick
would be
Cage-
employed by the FBI, but he would believe that Jodie Foster would be with that awful fucking accent.
I mean, given the way like the Secret Service and the FBI has been dealing with all the Trump shit, I mean, I'd hire a fucking monkey to work in the bureau. So
yeah.
Was it not to get off track? The big news was it was about the two lady Secret Service and they looked like munchkins. So I guess I can't really disagree.
That video where the Secret Service agent couldn't holster her gun it's all over the place. Have you seen that?
No.
So like right after the shooting takes place, one of those agents, she has her
She's
gun.
like Don Knotts.
Yes, exactly.
It's like Don Knotts can't put it in.
Yeah.
That's your job. Like part of your job is like you should know how to use this. Like
Yeah. Just
the gun.
anybody that's interested.
That's a
look
big
that
part
up.
of your
It's
job.
So funny. It's so funny.
Anyway. I mean, the way
Yeah.
you guys describe Nick Cage, it definitely makes it intriguing. Because I know nothing about I know Nick Cage is, but I haven't looked up anything about it. But again, the way you guys describe it, that's that unique. Definitely sounds intriguing.
It just depends, man. Like it's very subjective, honestly, because like
Very divisive, I think.
yeah, I can 100% see people not liking this film. I've said that before, But for me, at whatever stage I am in right now, how many ever horror films that I've seen, I was more than pleased with it. Didn't necessarily think the ending was the greatest thing, but like I said, no horror films have good endings anymore. They just don't. They just fuck them up like constantly. Like they don't know how to end. People do not know how to end a film in general, not just horror films, just films in general anymore. So I don't really look
Why
for
do you
the
think
endings
that's the case?
because I think people write movies nowadays just for like scenes they can put in trailers and shit like that, and they don't really think through the entire story about where something should go from like point A to point B. There's very few writers that I think even do that anymore.
So if I may ask both of you, what was the last horror film you saw, a newer one, that you thought had a good ending? You don't have to spoil it if you want, but you thought this ending was satisfying, and however way you view it.
You know what's funny is Maxine, the ending was kind of abrupt, but I didn't hate it. But I see a lot of people talking about the ending of that where they don't really like the ending. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil was kind of the same way.
Yeah. I really struggle thinking of a movie that ended like where I was like, that was awesome. Like that ending was amazing.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and look through some of these fucking movies just to find
Same.
one where I was like,
Yeah, I can't even think
it
of
was
one.
great. I can't think of one either. That's sad. Pretty much I can think of 10 where the ending like made the film worse. Like I can think of a bunch of movies like that. But I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if I would recommend this film. I don't even know how who do you recommend this film to, Mark? Like, I mean, like who is the Satanists? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could even recommend.
Well, first and foremost, like you guys said before, it's not like Silence of the Lambs, like these other critics have been talking about.
No,
because that's what I heard.
That. Please
all
stop.
these other people, critics, saying that.
No,
not
at all.
Okay. So
I don't even know. It's got a lot of elements of other films in it. I thought the makeup that they had on him looked like the Mask in Tourist Trap. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's kind of what it reminded me of. It's, I suppose, like I don't even know what I would compare it to, really. I don't know if there's anything to compare it to.
Without, since we're not in spoilers, do they explain why it's called Longlegs?
Oh yeah, within the first 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay then. All right. Cool.
What do you think though, Mark? What would you rate it, just out of curiosity? Scale of 1 to 10.
I give it a solid 7.
Yeah, I'll go with the 7 too, just until I see it again, because it's either going to go one or two ways. When I see it again, I'm like, here. It's either going to be that I'm like, it's going to go significantly down or significantly up. I don't know. Like, it's one of the two. But it is a movie where days afterwards, I would just be like talking to Savannah, and I'd be like, "Can you believe that fucking shit?" That it's like certain things like. She didn't like it though. I'll go ahead and tell you, she didn't like it at all.
Did she say what?
I'm trying to think. What did she say? I think she thought it was too slow and just too weird. Which is bizarre because I mean she likes weird usually. I mean, like one of her favorite films is Donnie Darko. It doesn't get much fucking weirder than that movie. But like I don't know, something about it was just she didn't care for it. Which I thought she would. I don't know.
So funny. She loves a Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Isn't it though? Yeah.
That's karma. That's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. Her second
Is it
favorite
your
is Brokeback
favorite of yours
Mountain.
then?
I'm just kidding. What?
I was in Longlegs. Would it be your favorite horror film of the year for either of
Hold
you?
on. Let me see what horror films have come out this year. Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
have to look at a list.
Oh, this has got shit that's coming out too.
Uh,
Good Lord. Okay, so you got Maxine, you got Lisa Frankenstein, you got In a Violent Nature, you've got Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that's everybody's favorite. Festival of the Living Dead, also everybody's favorite.
First Omen.
Abigail is in 2023 and 2024. I don't know how that's possible, but it's in one of those years. So out of the ones that I mentioned, and then see, that's the thing. I haven't seen Night Swim. I mean, I've seen Night Swim, unfortunately. I haven't seen Maxine, so I don't know. Like,
Well, what you've seen so far?
yeah,
Abigail.
it's definitely the most memorable. Like,
Okay.
of the shit that I've seen so far, like it's definitely the one that stands out in my mind where I was like several days later was like still thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just not just a movie you just breeze past watching and like, it just kind of disappears into your mind. You're kind of it didn't for me anyway.
So
I
like
don't know.
for you, would you put it above Abigail? And like from Mark, would you put it above like Late Night with the Devil and a few of these others
Yeah, I
that
would.
came out this year?
Yeah, I would. I think
Do you like it
out of
more than
every
Maxine?
Longlegs.
Yeah. Do you like it more than Maxine since you saw that
Uh-oh.
recently?
Uh-oh, here comes the real test.
Is that a pop quiz?
It's
the
no,
wrong
I mean
answer.
it's hard to say because like while it is a slow burn, Maxine is to me is the best paced movie of the three movies of X and Pearl. So that's kind of hard to say. I liked Maxine, but I'll probably say Longlegs stands out more just because it's a lot more unique and different and not something that like with Maxine, I mean, I kind of knew what to expect. You know what I mean? With Longlegs, I had no idea going into it exactly what it was about. I stayed away from a lot of the marketing stuff. I mean, I saw some of that stuff, but I wasn't reading every little thing about it. And even with all the stuff that was put out there marketing wise, it didn't really give a lot of the movie away, which I think the director, Oz Perkins, said he didn't want Cage on the poster, really. He didn't want him in the trailer.
Yeah.
None of the promotional stuff had him in it, which was a good thing because when you do see him in the movie, it's a lot more surprising than like anything else that's in it.
Christ. Alpha is coming.
What happened?
He's coming with the smoke tonight.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got to watch Maxine now to see what the deal is.
But see, Alpha, come on. You put over Bodies. You put over a Pete Davidson movie. So now from now on, I have to question everything you say.
I was questioning it when he was talking about 5 Cream. So I mean, let's just
Yeah.
But real quick though, we're at 9,990 something subscribers right now. So we may hit 10,000 by the end of this night. Also,
Nice.
I don't know what the fuck Garrett's doing over there, but Giant.
They said he was promoting.
Yeah.
Some people said that he was promoting your stuff to get the
Giant
10,000.
thanks to Garrett over at Born to Be Rad for doing that. Appreciate that for the people that are over there watching his channel. That's good. Always watch his channel.
Subscribe if you hate me. Subscribe to Dead Pit. Come on, come on. We got 10 more. Got 10 more. Come on.
Yeah, thank you, Katrina. I appreciate that. I appreciate Garrett for doing that. always awesome. I don't know if he's still streaming or not, but God bless him. If we get to 10,000 tonight, then I'm sure we'll do some sort of special show in the next couple of days. Like I said, I don't know who to recommend Longlegs to. I recommend it to people that are crazy ass people like me that like bizarre kind of. It's kind of like an A24 film. So I mean, if you like that kind of shit, then that's who I would probably recommend it to.
Oh shit!
Sorry about that, Rambo.
It's not gonna watch it.
It
Yeah,
is though. I mean, it is very much like that. It's in that same
Hey,
universe.
it could be surprising. It could surprise me. I like the violent nature. I know that's a divisive one, so you wouldn't
That's
expect
another
me to
one I
like
need to
that.
Mm-hmm. You said
Well,
you didn't see
you
that,
may
right?
hate
Uncle
that
Bill?
one.
I need to see that movie badly too.
Okay.
I mean, there's several that I'm behind on. None more so than
Yeah,
Maxino. I can't believe I haven't seen that movie yet. But it just didn't get a lot of hype, man. If I'm being honest, like the people that went and
No,
saw
that's
it
true.
that I knew were very kind of lukewarm on it. It wasn't like, Pearl or any of those movies like where people were shitting their pants or like it didn't get a lot of hype.
True.
But fuck, we're almost going on 3 hours here. I was hoping we would hit 10,000 while I was on here. I was hoping that would happen.
Well, it's what's it at right now? It's at
Let's see.
9.999. So it's right there.
I know.
9.95.
If anybody that doesn't know who Garrett is, that's hard to believe. But Garrett is the dude behind Born to Be Rad, the YouTube channel that deals with everything rad, including films and physical media. And
Very nice guy.
Corey Haim.
Very good guy.
Prominently, Corey Haim is featured as well as Corey Feldman. So go over to Born to Be Rad and check his ass out. So I wish I could see exactly how many people. I'm sure there's a way to do that I don't have access to on here.
When you go to the YouTube channel, I think you click YouTube Studio, and then it'll have like the exact number right there.
YouTube channel, fucking YouTube Studio. Oh, well, I'll be fucked. So we are like 8 people away. 8 fucking people away. God damn it. Come on. You have to know 8 people somewhere. But anyway. I didn't have anything else to talk about. That was my finale. I didn't realize we were going to get this close to 10,000 either. All right, bring up something quick. We still got 15 minutes. We could do this in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I mean, I'll show this. I got this in the mail because I was showing it to these two. It's like, save it for the show. I'm like, okay. But I rarely get packages. I rarely get items. But from Umbrella Entertainment, I recently got this thing, which is the Umbrella Beto pack of Super Mario Brothers.
That thing's already going for a
like,
damn fortune, by the way. I want you to know that.
Don't they still
is?
have it on the site? Well, at least that version that you have, Rambo.
Yeah, it was sold out. Then they redid it. So what this comes with is, of course, you see the box there, which is cool artwork. So you got that. It is the 4K, which has 3 discs. So you got the 4K and I believe 2 Blu-rays. So this has a shitload of features, which is crazy, but who'd have thunk it? But lo and behold. And not only that, but you have books, among other stuff, which is even crazier. You have the multiple strips, I guess, for the various versions of the draft they had that kept rewriting over and over again.
Wow.
And then you have this big ass book here, which has tons of behind the scenes making of artwork. It pretty much is a book detailing all of the production behind the scenes interviews on the making of the film. So
That's
there's a
killer though.
lot
Like
of-
they have all that on that fucking movie about that movie. Oh,
I know it's
shit.
insane. They even have like this stuff, like artwork on what the costumes were and what they were
That's
originally
cool.
going to do, and it's even like what the hell is it? Storyboards. I mean,
Nice.
not many come up with this packed of stuff. We're all colored and stuff,
Mhm.
and
It's wild that we live in a world though where the Super Mario Brothers movie gets that kind of treatment. You gotta appreciate
and then
that.
they recreated the movie magazine that came out back in the day in a shrunken form.
That's really
So this is
cool.
a magazine you would pick up back in the day. So I think I had this at one time when I was a kid, because by the time this came out, I was probably 10 years old. So I was like the right age for this type of stuff. With Luigi Mario. Mario and Luigi
Oh,
Mario.
God damn John Leguizamo.
And then you have, what was this thing? A bunch of lobby cards and stuff. So, and like the special features, what the hell? Like, disc 1, new audio commentary, another new audio commentary, another new audio. There's 4 new audio commentaries.
Jesus, they got everybody they could to talk about it.
And they brought over like an hour-long making of. That's a newer one. They have the cleaned up word print that they restored to look HD.
They went all out, man.
Features-
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the fact that this film got this treatment, I kind of am impressed by it. So while I rarely splurge on stuff like this because I'm very stingy with money, I'm like, you know what? I actually like the film because I like how weird and creative it is, because you can make a Mario Brothers movie. But let's make the weirdest Mario Brothers movie. And I kind of approve of that, because I see so many movies that are boring as shit or just so run of the mill that I kind of appreciate stuff like this. So yeah, it's pretty damn packed, and it doesn't take up too much room either. It's not gargantuan, and there's still a lot of stuff in there, and it's a sturdy
I mean-
box, and
It looks amazing the way that they set that up.
yeah. And like I said, it doesn't take too much room, and it's well packaged. It's sturdy. Like I could kill someone with this, which would be a hell of a headline. Dead by Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So that was from Umbrella Entertainment, which I've liked some of their stuff, and didn't take too long compared to others. So it took like a month, but I know you guys have ordered from, was it Severin and Vinegar
Dude,
Syndrome?
yeah,
and it'd
a
be
month
like
is
2-3
nothing.
months.
A month is
Yeah.
nothing. And like Severin took like 4 or 5 months. Vinegar Syndrome's going to take until Christmas probably to get that shit out that we just bought on those sales. So yeah,
And then they probably haven't sent out that stuff you guys got from the sale, right?
not to me, no.
Mm-mm.
Although, okay, real quick, I think Alpha asked about this too, because we were planning on doing a Romero show soon. I did get a shipping notification, Alpha, about the Bruiser 4K from Orbit, so it'll be here within it'll probably be here Monday or Tuesday, because they're really, really quick once they say they've shipped something. So
Hey, Vanderhoff, how about you suck my gold-plated dick?
what
How about
the fuck
that?
What did he say?
What happened?
You rarely get packages because they don't send stuff to prison. Yeah, I went there because I fucked your
What?
mom in the ass without lube. Okay,
Oh God.
so suck my gold-plated dick and the 5 cream filling. How about them apples? Sit on a dick and ride like a pogo stick up and down the mountain. All right, and when you fall off, hit every bit of the ditch tree. How about that? Okay, until it's creaming out of your mouth, just like your mama told me 20 years ago when I had you. Okay, there's 3 things. You either have
Oh
it the
man.
crack, the back, or keep it in the sack. I should have kept it in the sack 20 years ago. That was my mistake. I'm gonna get Doctor Who. I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna fix it. So next time you don't disappear in the stratosphere. How about them apples? Okay. So to repeat, if the dicks are your ears, I'll repeat one last time.
Oh,
Suck
my
a
gosh.
gold-plated dick. How about them apples? Do it live. Fuck it.
So anyway, we're almost to 10,000. If you liked Rainbow's Rant, go ahead and subscribe. I feel like that'll put us over right there.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be worth something.
Holy shit! I about fucking passed out. So what were we talking about? Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah,
but
I
we
know.
also like. What was some of the stuff you got Vinegar Syndrome like that you really look forward to the most that you're curious about?
Oh Jesus!
I mean,
man.
maybe all of it, but
There's a couple actually. Like, I mean, that was the worst sale Vinegar Syndrome's ever had, in my opinion. But a couple of things did come out of that. Like, they had the Vinegar Syndrome pictures, the one that they actually created, and that's the first one of those. And I'm looking forward to watching that. I think it's called like what's it called, 8 Eyes or something like that. That one I'm just interested in because it came from their actual like studio.
Mhm.
what the fuck?
Of the shit that I bought that was actually on sale though, I'm trying to remember what the hell it was now.
Yeah, like I can't even remember what I
Hold
bought
on.
from VS or Severn. I'm always the last to get all my shit, so
I mean, I can remember what I got from Severn because it was killer. The opera bundle.
that's the only thing I remember was the
Yeah.
opera thing.
And then I got a bunch of Bruno Mattei stuff. They had like almost every action film that he had on there was on sale for like $7.50.
I was gonna get those. Yeah, they had some killer covers too, and I watched the trailer, and they all looked like they were really fun. I took those
Yeah.
out of my cart at the last minute. I was gonna spend way too much, so yeah.
But Vinegar Syndrome, I'll have to check. Hold on. I can pretty easily bring
So
that up.
while you're checking that one, Sam Crow. I looked on Second Sight. The Hitcher is not there anymore,
Really?
which is interesting. Because I clicked on it and it said a 404 page not found when the Hitcher limited edition 4K pre-order. Now, unless I'm looking the wrong way, like 404 page not found.
That'd be great if
So-
they just like didn't ever release it. They were like, we couldn't.
Everybody would be so pissed.
Oh yeah, I got Ted Bundy, which is one that I actually really been looking forward to because that's got Tiffany Shepis in it from the early 2000s. That's actually a pretty decent serial killer movie.
Okay.
I got 3 that I haven't even seen: Killer's Delight, Wolfpack, and 5 Women for the Killer. One of those being an Italian film, I believe. I'm just now noticing that I spend way too much fucking money on physical media. I need to stop that. 8 Eyes, I got that one. Mutant Hunt, which I heard was good. That is like a 90s practical effects style movie. And that's all I got on here, I think.
Yeah, I probably got like 3 movies from VS and maybe 2 or 3 movies from Severin. That's really it. I didn't really get a lot of stuff this time. I got a bunch of other stuff from elsewhere, but yeah, the boutique labels. Oh, you know what? I got a bunch of stuff from the Arrow sale.
Oh shit,
They
I
had
forgot.
some-
Yeah.
They had some cool box sets on sale and a few random titles that I didn't have. So yeah, I got more from Arrow this year than I did from VS and Severin. It's kind of surprising. I rarely buy a lot of stuff from Arrow.
So, thank you to people that are subscribing, because there's still people subscribing on here as of like the last like 5 or 10 minutes. It don't look like we're going to get to it tonight, sadly, unless we stay on here at 2:00 in the fucking morning, which I ain't probably gonna do.
Where are you at now?
Hold on. I was just I was just refreshing to see if we would hit it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually check the actual thing here.
1 more hour. 1 more hour.
I don't fucking pass out over. It'd just be me laying on the keyboard. Let's see. Well, fuck, now I can't even get in there. Oh, shit. I can't see from like the dead pit side now. For some reason, it won't let me log in. Well, fuck. Anyway,
Okay.
I know we're not at 10,000, but we're extremely close. If that helps.
Right on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch.
Are you grabbing any of those imprint titles? Either one of you?
What was coming out?
No.
Mark? I forget now.
So one of the main ones that I saw was the Blair Witch collection. It's the first one, and the second one, not the remake.
You know
Or
what's weird
reboot,
is
whatever.
I don't have the Blair Witch on anything. I don't think. I've got Blair
Okay.
Witch 2 on a DVD. I don't think I fucking own the Blair Witch on anything. So I might get that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I do have is that old DVD collection set that they put out a while back, years and years ago. So I may actually.
I don't know what happened, because they said there was going to be something coming out this year, but apparently that's not the case anymore, because I've heard nothing about it. Like, it was going to be this big deluxe special edition of Blair Witch Project, and we're already in July, and we passed the anniversary, because that was a few days ago, and nothing. So maybe it was
That's a
those
shame.
actors, they were complaining too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
So
hope that's
Wild
not the
Wrangler
case.
says that we need one
Yeah.
more. If that's true, I'm gonna fucking somebody. If that's true, just have your fucking mother, sister, brother, aunt, uncle. They don't even have to like the show. Just sub to it, so we can hit this tonight. Just anybody that you know, just sub immediately. Wake somebody up, kick somebody in the groin, do something for your country.
When I showed this sub for
He
this,
did.
man,
He
look how
fucking-
good this box looks, man. Look how good that box is. Look at the box. Who's the boxer? You the boxer? Look at the box.
I will show you guys this, even though I'm sure nobody gives a shit about these two titles in particular, but I fucking love them. These are the only things I've gotten in recently. Absurd, which I think is probably one of the most underrated slasher, like Italian slasher films probably ever made. George Eastman,
Okay.
directed by Joe D'Amato. It's a Halloween ripoff, kind of, but it's like 1,000 times more intense and like violent than Halloween. There's a couple of scenes in this in particular that are crazy. If you don't have this movie, this is like, you don't have to get this big box ass version that I got, but I just really love this movie. But you can get like the regular standard edition for this for fairly cheap if you go to like Orbit, other places like that. And of course, if you bought both these together, you got like $10 off. So Anthropophagus,
Nice.
which is, I've said this before, but like,
That cover.
yeah, there's a lot of movies that claim that they're like hardcore and claim that they, really, go all the way with. This movie really does. It's, I can't believe that this was released when it was, and some of the stuff that they did in it. I can't imagine seeing this movie when it came out, because you would be like mortified, especially at that time period. So those are the two that I got recently.
Nice.
And who released those?
This was 88 Films.
Okay.
Yeah, these, you can get these big box versions. It's tough to say. On their website, like this, they're limited to 1,000, or you can just buy the regular ones pretty much anywhere. What the fuck you mean?
A comment for Longlegs.
What does it say? Longlegs was overrated as fuck. People call it a masterpiece yet. It has 80 Stallone cop movie logic. Yeah.
The fuck's wrong with Cobra?
Oh, here you go.
What the fuck? Not teach their own.
Phantasm Matt
haven't
brings
seen
up a good
Longlegs.
point, though. What the fuck is going on with Error 444?
I never had any problem with them, man.
I never got anything that I ordered from them.
Like, I got that shit almost immediately. So I don't know like what the difference was, but yeah, I've had that forever now.
I'm gonna have to check on them. I haven't gotten any information, not one notification, nothing.
Well, fuck, I didn't know you were still up, Garrett. That's what I was saying. Like, I thought that you were like already gone. I don't even know how many more we need. We're on 9.99 thousand something. One person said we needed one more, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It
like
doesn't
one
say in
more.
the YouTube Studio.
It'll definitely tell you in YouTube Studio your exact subscriber count. Yeah, like from the outside looking in, like it looks like to us it'll say 9.99, but
yeah,
only him and CK could see the actual numbers.
Well, I can't fucking see it because I ain't logged into the actual fucking account. So if Shithead was up, but he's definitely not up because he took like 2 melatonins and then tripped and fell into a fucking hamper. So come on, Garrett, you can pull this out for us. It's 1:15. I got shit to do tomorrow.
But how would you know if you can't see it if you did pass it?
I mean, I can keep refreshing it until it hits fucking 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, hell, I'll try to stretch it a little bit more. The last of the imprint titles, Antichrist, 1974.
Keep stretching this out.
We got to get 10K. Death Valley from 1982. Superstition, which is a really cool movie, 1982. Yeah, that one I already have though. So, I mean, maybe if it was a 4K, I don't know if I'd double dip on that one. Suspiria 4K, which I don't think Imprint does a whole lot of 4K. So, how do you feel about that one anyway? The 2018 Suspiria.
The 2018 Suspiria. That one was a mind fuck to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's really only 2 scenes I remember in that movie, and I mean, the one being, of course, the one everybody remembers, which is the dance sequence.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one is the really weird fucking sequence where the witches, like, I don't know what they do, but they possess that. See, a security guard or something. They make him pull his Peter out and all that stuff. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It's a really uncomfortable movie to watch, though. Like,
Yeah,
from start to finish.
that's another
we
one.
did it. We did
We
it.
did.
Ladies
Nice.
and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, we hit 10,000 subscribers tonight on
Nice.
this live stream. Huge thanks to Garrett over at Born to Be Rad. Huge thanks to all
Good
of you that subbed to this and have been watching this and subbed and have always watched this. Huge thanks to everyone and your mamaw who you woke up to subscribe. I don't give a fuck if it goes below 10,000. We fucking hit 10,000 tonight. Yes.
Richly
And-
deserved. You guys
Yeah.
deserve even more. Props to Garrett.
Yeah,
Props to people out there for subscribing.
the Rad Man himself.
Yep.
Got you guys there. That's
he
great.
he really went all out and like got us over the edge, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Been doing this for a long time. It's awesome to be at this spot where we're still continuing to do it, still continue to uh-oh. He's here. I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
I was just thinking,
around
like,
here, baby.
I was thinking
around
he
here.
needed to invade for this moment, and he pops
Well, I
in.
was waiting on his ass, yeah.
No, I had to get it to 10,000, and then I signed off and I popped over.
Like I literally thought like you were gone like an hour or so ago. Like I didn't have any idea.
No, I told them I wasn't going to go to sleep until they hit 10K. So
Well, you did it.
I call it a subathon. I've done it a couple times on the channel. I've done it for myself and a couple other people that were like on the brink of like getting to a certain point. So what I'll do is I'll just go live and say I'm staying up until they hit a number, and it's worked every time so far. So I figured, fuck it, why not?
It's genius though. It was a
Hell
genius
yeah,
idea. Honest to God,
Everybody thought I
though,
was going to talk shit about you, though. That's what everybody was waiting for. So what happened was, did you?
I didn't. Somebody said something about that, but I didn't know like that was actually. Like,
Well, I made the
what was
thumbnail with a mad face, and the title was the real truth about Dead Pit Radio.
going- That's fucking genius to get people to like. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when they came, and then when they came on, I was acting all pissed, and I was telling like basically our history and shit, and then I was just kind of like, and the truth of what's going on now is that they deserve over 10,000. And I just put out a promo and I swerved everybody, and everybody's calling me clickbait. It was so funny because I had like, there was like 67 people watching. As soon as I like flipped the script and like it became a joke, it went down to like 46. I'm like, you goddamn trolls in there just waiting for drama.
exactly.
I
People
love
want
that idea,
drama.
though. I love
They
that
wanted
idea.
drama,
That's perfect.
dude. As soon
They
as I
totally
flipped it,
wanted
everybody
you. They
bounced.
thought
They
you
were
were
like,
gonna. They thought you were
they
gonna.
were all
talk
waiting there
shit
to be
for
like,
real.
I can't wait to go tell Wes what he says.
Oh
And
my
then that was
God.
it. Congrats,
That's
man. You
amazing.
guys deserve
Yeah.
it, dude.
I wish that, and see, that's the thing. Like, I was talking to Wes earlier today, and I was like, dude, there's a pretty good chance that tonight we could like hit 10,000.
Mhm.
And he was like, that's exactly what he said. He's like, I don't give a shit. I took 2 melatonin. I wouldn't be worth the fuck anyway. So he's like, he's gone. He's been gone for a while. But like, I invited him. I wanted him to come on because I thought there was a chance we would be able to do it. So I wish he was here because it's kind of.
Wish you were here.
But he ain't waking up. I promise you. I can call him right now. His ass ain't gonna get up out of the bed.
He's gonna give you a dusty promo half in his sleep of why you shouldn't be calling him right now.
Yeah.
Leave me
But,
alone. Like doing his like Tommy Jarvis.
I think I can speak for him and of the fact that like yeah, I mean honestly, man, like it's wild because we shouldn't even really have this. Like in terms of like coming back and doing this stream and shit like that. It should have probably never even happened, but because of COVID and everything like that, it did happen. And like it's awesome to be back and have, people sub to it. So I am thankful for all that for sure.
Yeah, dude.
And-
I mean, the guys are legends, baby.
Well, we're legends in our own minds, that's for sure.
Are you gonna call Steve and tell him right now?
I will. Let's see how that goes. Yeah. He's be so fucking mad. Hey Steve, I'll just call him and be like, we hit 10,000, just hang up.
Shut up! He'll scream at you.
So yeah. Here's
Don't talk about
10,000.
Longlegs anymore because I'm going to see it tomorrow. I've avoided every single thing I possibly could about it.
No, I mean we didn't give any spoilers or anything anyway, but I have no idea how you'll feel about that movie, man. Like,
Dude, I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. I know zilch about what that movie is about. I know nothing. The only thing
That's
I know
the
is
best
that Nick
way
Cage
to
is
go
in
in.
it.
That-
So
that
I'm either
is,
going to go into it and be like, "Holy shit, that was awesome." I'm going to go in and be like, "That movie was fucking terrible." I don't know. I really don't know which way I'm going to go. I don't know. Like, I thought Skinny Marink was unwatchable, but there's other people that like it was fucking brilliant. I'm like, I don't know.
well, even
So
like
I don't know where I'm going to stand with this because I don't really know what to expect.
I didn't know either going into it, and like even with Wes, like I have no idea how he would react, and I know him pretty well, like in terms of like what kind of movies he likes. I have no idea, like what he would think about that movie. It's just one of those movies where you cannot predict like how somebody's going to take it.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out tomorrow and I'll let you guys know what I think. But yeah, somebody said I thought you were sleepy. I am sleepy, but I had to just congratulate him really quick, you know?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
No problem. Man, what you guys been rocking for freaking 3 hours over here? What's going on?
Yeah, it's been 3 hours and 15 minutes. Well, the last hour's basically been just trying to get to
Oh, just like a
10,000.
hype train?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just fucking trying to. We're opening
Oh my
shit
God.
and showing stuff off. Like we're doing anything we could think.
Oh, dude,
of.
look at this. I just opened some shit on my thing because I've been away the last couple of days. I just got back tonight. So I had packages waiting for me. So I found this. This was the only Corey Haim movie I didn't own. Demolition High. This
I
just
thought
came
about
out.
buying that. I saw
Oh,
that.
it's
I
sold
saw
out
that too.
already. It's sold out. There was only 200, I guess. So yeah, super weird, right? I'm like, I got number 60 out of 200, out of 199, and it's already sold out. I'm shocked.
Now, Garrett, is that just part one or is part two in there as well?
This is only Demolition High. Demolition University has a DVD, but this is a DVD media book. It's not even a Blu-ray.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was a Blu-ray when I saw it.
I
I
did
did
too.
too. I did too. So then when I went to the site and I like, because when I looked at it, I was like DVD. Then I went to the site and looked and I saw, and it was just a DVD. So unless they deleted a Blu-ray version of this, I don't know.
Has there
Really
ever
weird.
been a Blu-ray version of that movie?
There's never even
Come
been a
think of it.
DVD version of this.
Oh, okay.
So like then I
Mhm.
have both of them kind of side by side here. But I thought it was a Blu-ray, honestly, but then I went back to check just now and it said sold out DVD, but I'm like, I don't know, maybe I got confused. Or maybe they bait and
You
switched
don't-
me. I have no idea.
You're gonna be very excited because Mark has his cool as ice big special duper edition.
I forgot.
You get the hat?
Actually, you know what? That was sold out. So
No,
I didn't get it.
Oh, that would have been
I couldn't
sick.
get it. I think it was only like 200 copies or something of that. That one was really limited, but I got the big it's like, well, it's not a vinyl, but it looks like it. It's, hold on. I gotta move this mic.
Oh baby.
It's sorry, you guys can't hear me. It's 4 discs, posters, new interviews, features, the works. So I
Nice,
mean,
man.
if you're a fan, this is the one to get.
And what site is that on now?
This is a Turbine release, so you got to
Okay.
go. Well, you know what? You might be able to get it on like Orbit or something. I don't know, but I got it straight from Turbine.
Did you guys see the drama already with this freaking Blair Witch thing?
No, what's the drama?
Drama,
The
no.
imprint release.
Yeah, so Imprint just announced they're doing the little collection set, which is cool. I think that's cool. I kind of wish if they were going to do it, they would have added the other one in there too to have all 3 of them. They only are doing the first 2. But now I guess somebody, I think it might have been one of the people that made the movie, I guess, posted this big thing saying that like they were never told about this release, so don't buy it. And they said if you're gonna buy it, just buy it for part 2, because they said the original is coming out later this year the way it was supposed to be seen. So I don't know what the hell that means. So they're
Someone
basically
mentioned
saying
October. Someone mentioned
basically
October.
saying-
There was going to be like a big special edition.
yeah, so I don't know who's putting it out, but they said don't buy this release unless you only want the part 2 stuff, because there's a huge edition coming out later this year. That's an official edition. This one,
They vinegar syndromed them. They fucking vinegar syndrome.
yeah.
them,
So
they
like
them.
the owner of like somebody involved in the movie basically said that they weren't authorized to put this out, or they were never informed that they were putting this out. And I guess it's got interviews and stuff on there from them that they're like, I never approved this. So I don't know what the drama is. I don't know if they're gonna. Who knows? The imprint might come back and be like, oh yeah, shit, we're not putting it out. I don't know, but it's just interesting that it all of a sudden there's an issue like the day they announce it. So should be an interesting road.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had to stretch things out by showing this big thing.
Oh, you got that one? Hell yeah!
I guarantee Garrett got
Yeah.
that when it came out too. You
No,
had.
well, I got the purple one, not that blue one.
Yeah.
That's a great addition, especially that book. I mean, that book. Did you go through that yet?
Oh yeah, I showed it a bit here. It's
Like all
insane
those
with just
different
the
images they
amount
show,
of
like,
pictures and stuff.
dude, they show Arnold was supposed to be Koopa and Bowser or whatever, or King Koopa, and they show like what he was supposed to look like and everything in that book. It's wild to think that Arnold was
seen
supposed to
that.
originally be him. It's probably kind of towards the beginning. They should show like all these different sketches of like different things. And it says like Arnold as him, and they show like what his getup's supposed to look like. Yeah, dude, look at that.
That would have been amazing.
That
says
says Arnold as Koopa.
Wow.
What the hell is it?
Bowser.
Bowser,
That's crazy.
you come here to meet me, but you must be destroyed.
Mario,
You
Mario,
stupid
Luigi
plumber.
Mario.
You plumber.
Yeah.
You pesky plumber.
Luigi Mario, what you doing here?
That is too funny. So funny.
But
Yeah,
kudos-
okay.
real quick, I just want to say
Michael-
kudos to Garrett for being such a good guy. I mean, you're a big help to Dead Pit. In all seriousness, we don't get to talk much, but all the stuff you've done with these guys, loved all the stuff you do on your channel. For anyone out there, this is definitely one of the good guys out there on YouTube
Dude,
because he
thank
doesn't
you so
ask for
much,
anything and just
I
being
appreciate
honest. That's the truth.
I said that on the stream today before I told them what I was really doing, but I was like, I said we're the same, but we're very different. So I'm like, I'm sure there's a lot of OG Dead Pit fans that probably hate me because we are different in certain ways, or don't like
there's
what I
no
bring to
way.
the table. But I mean,
Dude,
it is what it is.
Come on. But seriously, like, I mean, you're doing it the right
Well,
way. All the
People
content you
hate
put
me
out.
more than you. Let's be
I was gonna
honest.
say that people hate Matt.
Why
for
are you
sure.
throwing this
But I'm
forward?
just saying. I mean, who
People hate
knows?
more
Because
than
I do
you.
a lot of collabs. They're probably like, screw this dude, fucking
Yeah.
headband and shit. Get him out of here.
Well, you dropped the
knows?
headband gimmick anyway. I don't know what happened to the
No,
headband
it's
gimmick.
still
but-
here. I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to switch things up. Look at, I'm growing my hair out too. Can you see? Look at.
Holy shit! You should grow it out like I did back in the day and just like put it. in
I'm
the
not gonna grow it
ponytail.
that long. I'm actually, to be honest, I'm trying to go for. You can't see it right now, but I want that Haim Watchers look right there. That's what
There
I'm
you
going
go.
for. But
No, you need
this
to
is
go
usually
go
like-
for the
This was
go for
always
the Terry
shaved to
Silver.
like a 1. What?
go for the Terry Silver. Do it.
Like ponytail.
Yeah,
You had the Terry Silver, didn't you? at one point?
I was rocking the Terry Silver before that was a cool thing to do. Yeah, I'm not sure it was ever a cool thing to do.
They called you Quicksilver in high school.
That's exactly right.
Here comes Quicksilver.
No, I'll have to agree though. Garrett is pretty much universally liked.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You
Even
know
though
the
I'm wearing face paintless
Is
kiss
that-
shirt.
I was gonna say, is that the Kiss Animalized shirt? Yep, it is. I mean, that's not a bad album, to be fair. Like
No, it's not.
a lot of those albums. are
Makeup
pretty good,
Kiss.
though.
But so I don't know what's going on with that that damn Blair Witch thing, but well, I guess we'll see what's happening with it.
You
I
getting
don't know
any
how-
of those? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man.
Well, I was just gonna ask Gary, you getting any of those imprint titles? Any of them look intriguing to you?
I definitely wanted Blair Witch. Superstition. I like the movie. I realized I don't have the Scream Factory version, which I thought I did. So I'll probably maybe get that. I haven't even looked at the prices yet, so who knows? Antichrist. I don't know what else. I don't know if I have that on anything but that Anchor Bay DVD. That's the same one, right?
Yeah.
Kino.
'Cause I know there's so many movies by that title, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one from 1974. Yeah.
I have the one from Criterion. That's another one, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
There's a Lars von Trier one called Antichrist 2, which is
Mhm.
crazy, and then there's the 70 one, which is that one. But yeah,
Yeah,
two
I'll
completely
probably
different movies.
I like the Suspiria. I like that movie a lot. But I mean, I have a nice 4K steelbook. I doubt I'm gonna get that, but I think it's a pretty cool movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Antichrist came out from Kino.
Yeah,
Already.
it was not too long ago they released that too.
Well, you got 10,000, so tomorrow you got to pop in a cold one and just celebrate like it's nothing now.
What you're gonna do is you guys have to come up with something real cool to do for a 10,000 show.
We got to figure that out. That's the next step. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do. A big 10,000 show.
we'll do
Cool.
the night of 10,000 horror stars. We'll have everybody we ever interviewed come back on. Yeah.
Well, I remember CK talking about you guys bringing back like the original show format. You guys still going to
He
do
did
that?
say that. Yeah, I would love to do that. I've been trying to talk him into doing that like for a while, actually.
I
Just to-
missed the call-in portion and all that
yeah,
stuff.
trying to. Well, the problem with the call-in portion nowadays is it's live, right? Back then we were doing it. It was we edited it. So if somebody calls in and just screams a bunch of shit or whatever, it's kind of like
It's an invitation for trolls. You're right.
yeah. You have to put it on delay somehow or another. I don't know. How does Christian do that shit now? He did it for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore because people call it in like like doing racial slurs and stuff on air or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he had to get rid of it because he thought his channel was going to get like taken down.
It's
I mean, it
into, like,
will
those,
eventually. Yeah. If you keep
Those
it up.
Call of Duty chat rooms where everybody's just yelling or whatever.
Yeah, so that didn't last too long. But I mean, we've done it on Rad Pack, but what we've had people do is send in video questions, and then we'll just play them during the show and answer them, but we'll pre-screen them all so we know that there's not junk coming through. So that we'll just do that, and then we'll play the video clip on there, and then we'll answer the question or whatever. Just because it's an easy way to keep everything monitored. But you guys should do is try to scrub through like some of the old school like Dead Pit hardcore fans that like used to call in and stuff, find them and try to get them on the show. Like where's I called you? Where's that guy?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people like that, man. That like
Where's he? What is his name?
which one was that now?
Calling you.
Oh,
J
J-Dog.
DVD
Yeah.
done.
Where's he?
Dude, he's in the Canadian wilderness somewhere. I don't know.
You're
if
gonna
he's
find
president
him. You're
anymore.
gonna kind of find like the all right, that
Well,
guy.
there's a like you talk about like Ed and all those
The Norwegian
people.
guy, like all right.
The,
him.
yep,
You're gonna get him.
Alexandra. Or,
Yeah, you're gonna
we
get
gotta
everybody.
find all these guys.
The girl, find the girl.
Justin's got
Adam Beck.
If we could have patrons,
Adam
call
Beck.
in, you could assume that maybe they're not going to scream racist shit, but then somebody probably sign up to be a patron just so they can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it could
Oh yeah,
be.
that's right. Yeah, Justin made a good point. Yeah, the patrons or the members. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll figure it out though. There'll be something, but I just don't know what exactly.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I've tried to get B Junior a bunch of times, and he didn't. He's declined me every time.
Kim
Kim
Malicious.
Malicious. Should get her on. Yeah, B Junior was great, dude. I used to love that dude's content.
Bring the guy who loves Pantera on. Yeah.
That's
Guy
what
that
he's
wants
doing.
to take a shot for dime bag. That'd be a tough one to find. Yeah.
Maybe you could do a whole big show and like Hell Lord can play, and it'll be a great one.
Yeah. If we could
You know what you
ever figure
should
out
do,
how
to be
that.
quite honest with you? Why don't you guys try to record it together at his house?
Well, when you said that, I actually thought that too. Like, Yeah, we could do that. That would probably be the best way to go about doing it. Is actually, just have us both be there live and actually do the show like it was done before.
Yeah.
Live or recorded. Probably recorded. That's what we could do. Okay, here's what we should do. In my opinion, based on everything. I should go down there. We should do the show there. Not live, just pre-recorded. Have a call-in portion and all that shit. That way we can edit out all the stupid shit. And then just do the show like it was like before, one time. and
Probably
then put
should.
that up.
Yeah.
Do some songs, do some
Yeah.
crazy shit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the call-in
mean,
portion just put on your Discord. Like the people on your Discord, like that way that's a little bit more controlled environment than just out there in the public.
Yeah.
I don't
And then
think
you
we
can,
do
and
it
then you,
once a month, but we can do it this time. Do it once.
no,
a
but I'm
month.
saying, yeah, like that would be a cool, like kind of a retro. You know how like Raw used to do Raw retro or whatever, like do a special every anniversary. They'd go back in time. You could do like a 10K retro show and do like old music, everything basically the same, right? Like the beginning would be like the down, 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 down. It
I
was just
could,
like
yeah, we
all
could
the old.
actually recreate that pretty much exactly.
Yeah, that'd be so sick. I think that's what you
Yeah.
guys should do for your show.
Take a canoe over to CK's and do it old school.
And then Hellard playing in the basement or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great
That would
idea,
be-
really. Except for the canoe
No.
part. There's actually no river that goes over CK's house. Spoiler. Uh,
That was all bullshit for the movie.
yeah, that was all bullshit for the movie.
That was the best.
Where-
Like going through like
where
fucking
the-
weeds and shit.
Wear the Terry Silver wig. Yeah,
You guys are both
That
wearing
was-
long wigs.
Yeah. we should
Like
do
leather-
that.
and like
That's
leather
great.
jackets and shit.
Oh.
That would be killer, dude. Pit retro.
But anyway, it's late. I'm sure everybody is probably tired and ready to get the hell off here. But I do seriously appreciate it, though, Garrett. Like you're doing the
You deserve it,
swerve.
dude. You
You're
deserve
doing the
it. Yeah, you gotta
swerve helped out quite a
back and watch
bit.
the Swerve. Not
Yeah.
tonight, but you know.
So huge thanks to Garrett. Go over to Born to Be Rad, of course, if you're not already over there. And huge thanks to Matt and Mark. So let's start with Garrett, though. Garrett, what the fuck you got coming up at 1:30?
No.
You're going to do some promos at 1:30 in the.
I've been trying to do like a super show, like a Saturday morning super show kind of every Saturday morning, but because I've been away the last couple days, so I haven't had a chance to do anything special. So I'm going to drop something tomorrow that I already had in the can. It's talking about a slasher from the 2000s that I thought was going to become a huge deal that kind of came and went. So it's like about a 10-minute long video. I just kind of talk about it. So if anybody wants to go check that out, give me your thoughts on the movie itself that I talk about. That would be cool. And then just the normal stuff. We got a Rad Pack show coming over on the Rad Pack Pod channel on Wednesday. I've got a ton of stuff lined up to do because every Saturday morning I'll release a cool one. And I've got, I don't know, bringing list about like 30 shows I got to get done. So something's coming. Something's coming this week. So come on over to Born to Be Rad and check it out.
Awesome.
Nice.
Matt, what you got going on?
Just now that things are calm, out of the eye of the hurricane, all the other stuff, things are cleaned up a bit. Getting back to fulfilling requests, thanks to generous people out there. So a lot of random videos, commentaries on good films like Summer Rental, which is a favorite John Candy film of
that movie.
mine.
Yep.
And then rewatching films, I forgot how bad they were, like 3,000 Miles to Graceland. I don't know if anyone remembers that film.
The Elvis
Kevin
movie
Costner,
with- yeah.
and Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah, David Arquette's in there. Yeah.
Christian Slater, yeah, they most of them die like the first 30 minutes. Other random requests. Someone wanted me to play RoboCop 3 for Super Nintendo. I'd never played it before, but I think they knew it was bad because the more I played it, the more I raged. I got pissed. It's a really bad game. And more of that nature, thanks to people out there. Random ones like George of the Jungle 2, because as CK said, they're just fucking with me. They know it. But hey, people enjoy it, then that's all for good. Yeah, continue with that. Thanks to the nice people out there. And how about you, Mark?
Oh man. So in the next week and a half, I'm going to be going to the convention. So more than likely, I'm going to do a haul video of everything I picked up and showcase in another video separate from that, probably all the stuff that I got signed, and which is going to be a ton of shit. So, I still got to get that wagon, Uncle Bill. Like, I can't,
Oh, you really need that, yeah.
I'm not joking. Like the amount of stuff that I have to get signed, because it's all that German shit. Like it's, oh, man, I'm
That's
like,
gonna be. Are you
really,
seriously gonna take that shit in there, man? That stuff is like huge.
I can't. I mean, I have to. What else am I gonna
You
get
need to
signed?
just get a side by side or something and drive it around.
No,
All that stuff in it.
I'm so funny about like getting posters signed and like, pictures and portraits and stuff. Like, of course, I like doing like the photo ops every now and again, but
Well, at least
that
the
makes
Secret
all
Spokesman won't be there, so you won't get any
oh,
trouble.
God. Well, he won't say anything, so it won't be any trouble anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what I do. I always take the rare stuff that I have and I get that signed. It makes it more rare to me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I look forward
that's
to
pretty
that,
much it.
to seeing that video.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm so looking forward to it. I always am, any con that I go to, but like this year, it's just so many guys and I got so much stuff. I might actually go broke this year with all the stuff I get signed and probably pick up. So we'll see in the next week and a half.
So how
All
do you
right.
carry all that stuff real quick? Like, do you just put it in like a big giant backpack that you just hike over and like hunched over?
It's
Is it
so
a
funny
shopping cart?
because
Is it...
so like my trunks, luckily, like I drive a Wrangler Unlimited, so like I got a ton of space in the trunk, so I load my trunk with a ton of shit, and then like I have to make like 4 trips between the hotel room and the convention floor. So but this year it's going to be even more insane. So I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off, but I will. I'll have my girlfriend there, so she'll help.
Yeah, she could help. So for Dead Pit, for Born to Be Rad, for Rambo Rap for Life, for Stuntman Mark, I'm Uncle Bill. Y'all go shit in the bucket. Thanks for 10,000. Peace out, everybody.
Give us the thumbs up,
Off you butt.
like, subscribe, and if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a fuck. If you do
I
or
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it.
I don't want you to do nothing. Listen, they need to do that now.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last Out on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Deadpit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows, fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.
We ain't